back from vacation.
A couple 1, 2, 10 kids
In the studio.
I'm tan as shit, chasing sharks.
Chasing sharks in Hawaii while I was swilling wine.
You were chasing wine and hanging out with some really old singer.
It's not that old.
Who the fuck was that?
That was Adam Duritz from the Counting Crows.
Oh, did you jump back into 1997?
Don't be a dick. They're still touring.
They're still
They
touring?
just opened up for Bruce Springsteen in Rome.
He's insanely out of shape, and that's obviously a wig, sir.
I'm not going to answer that question. How do you know it's a wig? It may not be. Could be just
Because he's 50, and there's no gray, and it's pitch black. Unless you're Bob Marley, that's a fucking wig.
I'm not going to comment on this right now. I'm going to change the subject super fast.
Why were you hanging out with the lead singer of the Crows? I picture you guys hanging out in Italy and him just singing sha-la-la-la-la-la, just nonstop, hoping someone recognizes him.
Well,
Excuse me, so, are you the guy from the Counting Crows?
I was bringing up those songs, and he goes, "You know, I've written 95 songs, right?" They're like, literally, they have 9 albums. So I was like, "Oh,
No,
sorry.
they're balls deep. They were a big deal
Yeah.
in 1998.
Yeah. Well, they're having a resurgence now.
Oh yeah, is that what he said?
They are. No,
Are they?
No, they are.
Is he on? Is he on Biggest Loser?
They're playing for.
What's the resurgence?
No, I'm not gonna. Listen.
Hey, how random
It
was
was
that?
random.
Brian Callen, Counting Crows, the fat guy from the Blues Travelers.
It was very strange to be there in France but he's a friend of my buddy who owns Europe.
Yeah, he owns the
Parts
boot.
of
He
Europe.
owns the boot of Italy.
We went to.
And so was he like, oh, I like the way that guy sings. Hey man, come with me.
Yeah, he would always go to his concerts.
So he's
and
a
then-
super fan.
Yeah, like he loves them. So.
And so he's like, hey man, I'm gonna do this VIP thing.
Yeah.
How about we extend this a little? You jump on my private jet. You come hang out with me and my friend.
Basically, yeah.
And you just eat all the cheese you can. Obviously, you enjoy food.
We drank some crazy wines. We drank some wines.
I don't give a fuck about that. Did you guys sing though?
I sang a lot to him.
Did he sing?
I sang
See,
a lot
I would have
to
been in his ear going, Mr. Jones and me.
Well, no, I was just singing crazy shit like, I don't even know what I was singing, but I was making him laugh because I was actually singing more than I was talking when I was around Adam.
I bet. Is
And
he?
his guitarist who plays every instrument.
Oh, was the whole band there?
And his guitarist, his name is David Imagold, I think, or a really, really nice guy. He's so nice. You know, musicians are super nice. Like Adam's super sensitive. They're very nice people.
Or they can be introverted, yeah.
Yeah, or introverted. And so there's something about that. Like Imi would just say something really nice, like for no reason. And I'd go, like he'd be like, man, this is great wine. I go, get out your boots. Get out the old boots. Amy's bullshitting again. Here comes the bullshit. And no matter what he said,
They would die laughing?
Yeah. Oh, they loved Gadoosh.
Oh, you started doing good
Oh my
douche?
God. I was like, hey, Gadoosh.
I would have said, excuse me, sir, is that a giant tarantula on your head or is that a wig?
Well,
Is that did you kill a shitload of spider monkeys or is that a wig?
well, he came in and Joe has a German woman who works for him who cooks and she's German, so she's
Unschneider, ja.
very
Ja,
blonde.
Unschneider.
Yeah, they're very
Unschneider.
blonde. They're very blonde and loud.
It sounds like they're yelling, but they're just asking,
yeah,
like,
they're
how are
very
you doing?
loud. Yeah, that's right. They're very,
Oh, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
yeah. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
What did she say? She just had, how's your day?
Well, they speak, you know, like I made some nice fish, and you know, you're like, oh, okay. And she's a big, very handsome woman, high cheekbones. She's a big girl.
Face that could stop
she
a
should be
clock.
the Klopp. She's
Yeah.
kind of the female Klopp. She's got giant shoulders, but very
a
well
dick
put
on.
together. Yeah.
All she eats is fucking
Like
sauerkraut and
biscuits, milk,
potatoes.
biscuits, milk, meat, sauerkraut, and potatoes. And just a big, and she goes, the minute Adam walked in, she goes, is that your real hair? I was like, oh.
What did he say?
And he goes, no, it's imaginary. It was fucking great.
Is that your real
It
hair?
was great.
Unschneider. Oh, Unschneider. I had
Back
fun,
from
man.
Europe. Did you have fun? You were in Hawaii.
Oahu. Oahu. Shoots, bra.
Got some sharks in the water over there.
Little sharky sharks. Did some.
They spotted a 16-foot.
Not when I was there. In Kauai, they spotted a 16-foot tiger shark, and that was enough to. Well, I was balls deep in the water, man. I love snorkeling like deep into the
best.
depths.
It's the best.
Felt like I was finding Nemo
Life
or
in-
some shit.
Life in slow motion.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you forgot about everything.
Have you ever
Bills,
scuba
everything.
dived?
No.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm just talking about snorkeling,
Yeah,
so
but I'm
don't one
talking
up me
about-
right now,
I'm
huh?
talking
Because you
about-
didn't do shit.
I'm talking about being 30 feet under and just breathing away.
No, I'll tell you what I did. I went off the keto diet for 4 days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
With the, I didn't feel great.
No.
Didn't feel great. For dinner one night, I had coffee, Hawaiian shaved ice, and chicken wings.
That's a lot.
How random is that?
Well, that's not gonna, you know.
How random is that?
Yeah.
And then I just was balls deep in pineapple. I'll tell you what, they're not giving away the fruit out there.
No.
They are not giving it away.
What
I stay at a nice hotel, the Four Seasons, but I mean, dinner for 2 every night, you're looking no less than 100. I expect it. It's all good, but I was more surprised out there.
There is in where I was in the south of France near the Basque region, they have essentially wild boar. It's these pigs that they call pata negra, and they're black hoof pigs that live only on acorns.
Pigs that eat nuts.
Only acorns.
Pigs that eat nuts.
Yes, acorns. And the meat it's called red label.
It's like, sweet.
You couldn't get it in the United States till 2008. It's like caviar. It's like super expensive. Like just for a plate of it is $200, right? And when you buy it, I bought it in one time in Florida. They had a certificate to prove that it was authentic. So that's like, you know, it's like white truffles or something. Yeah. Because my buddy owns bags.
He's Scrooge McDuck.
We just had plates and plates of it, and I would just eat handfuls of this pata negra.
Good luck getting that away from the Counting Crows guy.
Well, my
fuck
face,
you.
Maybe
fuck you.
We were eating.
Fuck you.
We were eating by the handful. Okay, we were eating by the handful, and I'm not afraid to say I'm not going to speak for him, but my face swelled up. I had some
from the sodium.
I had some sodium retention. Then I thought it'd be a good idea because my buddy has to kill 21 deer on his property every year. It's by law because deer overrun.
They're just running.
There's so many deer in England.
I love me a nice
and there are no natural predators. Yeah, so I go ahead and I put on I get this German sniper rifle, and I sent the video to Joe, and I plug me a roe deer.
Did it have a Nazi symbol on the side of the gun?
It did not. It's called a Blauser. It's an expensive gun.
A Blauser.
Called a Blauser.
A Blauser. Then we played Wolfenstein.
That's right. We played Wolfenstein. Daddy drops himself a deer.
Don't call yourself Daddy.
Call himself Daddy.
You dropped a little fawn?
Daddy dropped himself.
They're so fucking cute.
It was a buck, but it was tiny. It's a roe deer. They're not big.
Yeah, fuck those bucks.
Yeah, and the thing was staring at me like, I eat grass. I was like, really? Good dude.
Not up in here.
They made me mad.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shoot that face off.
Don't stare at me with
you
your
ever shoot him in the snout?
With your devil horns?
You ever shoot him in the snout?
No, man.
That little wet snout?
No, just
fuck your snout.
Right through the heart so they die quick, super quick. There's no pain when I squeeze off around.
Squeeze off?
Yeah, when I squeeze off. When I draw a bead and I squeeze off.
You zone in?
When I zone in, I draw a bead on you and all I do is just gently caress that trigger.
Hey, elk.
And I send it home.
Elk.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night. He's catching some.
See ya.
It's called a permanent dirt nap.
Yeah, bitch. It's called Metal Gear Solid, Dare Edition.
Now, I'm the kind of man that doesn't kill anything unless he's going to eat it, which is why I won't
So you're like Avatar, then you walked up, stabbed him in the throat.
No, Daddy didn't have to do that. Like I said, I dropped him.
You know what I would have done?
What?
I would have shot that thing, walked up with a knife, then standing over me, your big fat friend in the fake dreads would go, sha-la-la-la-la-la, and then thank you, sir. Goosh, and then I'd kill him.
Don't call him my big fat friend.
Sorry, I'm sorry. What was the name? I can't remember his name.
Adam.
Yeah. Counting Crows.
Such a nice guy.
Can I call him CC? Can I call him C squared?
Yes. C squared's good.
C squared.
You'd love him.
I would love him.
Funny,
I'd rip that wig off every single morning.
You know, I think I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. But he is the sweetest man in the world. Now,
was it hot out there?
I dressed the deer and I ate the deer.
It was delicious.
Well, here's the problem. It was a roe deer and it was in rutting season, which means it's
very lean. It's very tough lean, meat.
Very tough. That meat's so tough it's crunchy. You're like, it's not good. But I decided to wolf down an entire plate. And then I ate some of the liver and the heart.
You blew up your friend's bathroom.
Well, my stomach has not been right until probably right now.
Really?
Yeah, it took me about 3 days.
Damn.
And I drank myself. I probably drank most people's salary for the.
Hey man, easy on the brag.
I'm not bragging. It wasn't my money. It's just I have a very wealthy friend, so I'm drinking crazy wines, and I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I'm like, I can afford those wines.
So you're chewing on crunchy deer meat, hanging out with the Counting Crows from 1997, and then just shooting deer.
Yeah, that's what my vacation was. There you go, ladies and
gentlemen. Hey, man.
And my parents. Don't forget I was there. I was there because of my parents, too. It was my chance to spend time with my parents.
But how much time did you spend with them?
Well, my dad lives on his iPad, and he's either taking Italian lessons, listening to a book on tape, or watching, and I'm not exaggerating, I've talked about this before, watching specials on big cats.
You could be a fly on the wall. He doesn't give a fuck.
He watches nothing but specials on big cats, and then he looks up from his iPad, and I got to tell you this. So we're all sitting there. My dad is there with Adam Duras and all these people. And my father goes, You know, when a water buffalo is attacked by lions, the first thing they do is they eat the water buffalo's genitals. They eat his genitals. They eat his testicles.
Standard.
Because they're right there.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah.
Those balls are hanging low.
Yeah, you don't think about
Out the
this.
back.
You don't want to be a water buffalo because the lions, they eat because they're right there. Let me gobble
Well, that's
those
a
up.
straight, yeah, well, they're soft.
Well, I need some energy to kill you, so eat your balls.
So he's dropping this knowledge on all of you guys.
Yeah, and then
Like, you guys are kids. Everyone's 50.
yeah, and then where do they eat? Where do they start? Where do they start eating first?
Oh, they're going to get that asshole
They
next.
go right through the
Yeah,
asshole.
they're going to take that canine, go right through your rectum.
Right through the rectum.
Right through the rectum.
They eat the asshole.
Yeah, oh, it's a vicious cycle.
I guess you don't want to eat the shoulder. It's a lot of meat. You go right into
Oh,
the
plus
asshole.
you're near the head. He's going to fuck you up.
Yeah, they eat all the organs first. They eat the grass and the tummy. They get 90% of their moisture from the blood and.
God damn.
Yeah.
Vicious world.
It's a vicious world. So we know you don't want to be a water buffalo in the wild.
So your dad was dropping that
And then,
knowledge.
and then I'm not exaggerating. It is 10 people at dinner. My dad looks up and starts talking about how he saw 8 beheadings, like, you know, where it was 10 feet away from him in Saudi Arabia.
Your dad's serial killer.
And he's talking about it, and he's talking about how they do it. My mother said, I don't think this is appropriate. And I saw Adam Durit's tour stage manager go like this. Like he did a silent fuck. He went, fuck.
Why?
Because he couldn't take it. Because he looked at my father and he goes, I guess you must have had a tough time sleeping after that. And my father said, no. My office looked down on the square, so I see it all the time.
Jesus
and the guy
Christ.
goes, fuck.
He was sick of
It was awkward, and I changed the subject.
You got
and
it,
then
man.
I come over to the guy and I said, I whisper in the guy's ear. I go, listen, my father was in the military.
Yeah, just
Maybe
shut
it's
your mouth. Enjoy the stories.
You're a
Enjoy
sensitive
this
artist.
acorn meat you're eating, boy.
Yeah.
I ate so much ahi tuna, it wasn't even funny.
Really?
From the food truck. So what I did, I avoid the touristy shit.
Yep.
I've rented a Jeep Wrangler stick, mind you, no doors on it.
Ooh.
I like to wear a tank top, couple jean shorts, sandals.
Can I be honest? You're built for Hawaii.
I like to leave my foot out the door while I drive on the H1, H2. That's terminology for the highways in Hawaii. And then I like to scoot around the island. I go from North Shore to
scoot
Kauai.
Oh.
Yeah. I love just being like part of the environment.
Well,
man. I went hiking.
Because you know, a lot of times when you're a white guy in Hawaii, there is that Laird Hamilton in Riding Giants was talking about how, well, white people were the ones to Hawaiians sometimes who were like, well, you guys came in and kind of ruined our country a little bit, or, you know, whatever.
They're super friendly to me.
Oh,
I'm tan as fuck.
I was gonna
and
say.
then when they're UFC fans, like when we were snorkeling, the guy, I guess Jon Jones was there and some other fighters, so he was a huge UFC fan. And I told him, like, dude, you don't have to give me snorkels and shirt. I can pay for this, man. You don't have to keep getting. He was like, nope,
That's
your money's no
awesome.
good here.
That's awesome.
And then gave us
because you ain't white. Let's be honest. You got a lot.
I might be Hawaiian.
You might be.
I love it there. I want to move there.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I could do everything.
That
from
might be
there.
the only place you could live besides where you live now.
Maybe, I don't know.
Do you think you'd
I don't
get
know.
bored? Would you
I'd
search?
like a vacation home there. I'd like vacation. You know, I watched UFC 200. I was hiking the pillbox, a gnarly hike, and the only place
Hawaii? This is
in
Hawaii?
Hawaii. This is in
The pillbox.
the pillbox in Oahu. Tall hike, whatever. And I was like, shit, the fights are about to start. I'm not going to Buffalo Wild Wings on my vacation. That sounds like a nightmare for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the old Shark Eyes doll smile. I knew he was watching Denver. Went ahead and FaceTimed him and watched him like that. Went and watched him like that.
Hold on.
Hey, and did the mat look as shitty on your guys' screen as it did on my FaceTime screen, 9,000 feet above the water?
On your phone.
Yeah.
watching the fight.
Did the yellow octagon look as shitty on everyone else's screen?
So your brother's holding the phone toward the.
Yeah, and I said, hey, fucking Michael J. Fox, let's keep it still here, man. Because he was like, I don't know what he was doing, but he was
so fucked
shaking it. And I was like, hey, Freddie Roach. So he had to put it on like a mantle so I could watch it.
Oh no, because he was all shaky.
Nah, well, he was just, you just holding it there and then you'd like move.
So you had to
and,
insult people with Parkinson's. It's
I was just fucking around.
funny though.
So that's how I watched UFC 200.
What are your thoughts?
You want to jump on into that or
Yeah.
what?
Well, I want to talk about, yes.
We can. I mean,
Well,
we got so much to cover.
Can I lead you into some stuff, or do
please? Are you? And you're up to date, like the Jon Jones stuff, you know, all that,
on everything.
And everyone's aware Jon Jones failed because of estrogen blockers, which
is that what it was?
Yes, which isn't in supplements.
Right.
You know this,
which is in.
He's
supplements.
gone for 2. It's not in supplements.
It's not in supplements. So now we know it's
estrogen.
not.
You take estrogen blockers after you do a cycle of steroids to regain your natural testosterone. Yes. Because when you take testosterone, it increases your estrogen. So you want to block the high level of estrogen.
Gotcha.
So it's not a masking agent. Basically, what it is to restore your levels after you're off a cycle. Because bodybuilders are balls deep in estrogen.
Yeah, because when your balls, when you introduce a lot of testosterone in your body, your balls will stop producing as much testosterone.
Your balls go, okay,
so
let's shut down factories, so your balls shrink because you're getting it artificially.
Yeah. And your body wants
estrogen wants to balance, so it goes, all right, more estrogen, which is why you see guys with bitch tits, you know, with that soft, like, dad bod muscular, you know. So if you see estrogen blockers, it's 110% means you were doing steroids before. And you cannot get that in GNC, kids.
And we must also mention that when WADA does this, USADA, I think, does these tests, they not only test, so they'll test first, and then they wait, and they test a second round.
So check it. So I stayed off my phone for most of the vacation, but when I did get on, I saw all the people like, why does it take so long to get back? This is why. So when they test on June 17th, and they get it to the lab whatever days later, the reason why it takes so long is because they might test it and like, all right, we have estrogen blockers that showed up on this, but then they test that thing a jagillion times to make sure for a fact they're 100% certain that he took something, because if he didn't, he could sue the bejesus out of him.
Right.
So they test that. I mean, whenever a guy gets flagged for that, most likely you're doing some shit. Yeah. So they test the piss out of it. No pun intended. They test the piss out of it a jagillion times to make sure he's on it. And then they go, all right, we want the B sample. All right, let's test the B sample. So when they test that, same shit. So Jon Jones is basically done. Your best fighter of all time. The show is over. And I've been his biggest supporter. Show's over.
Do you think it's over?
It's over. So because the first, right, so...
How long is he banned for? I'm sorry.
2 years.
He's banned for 2 years.
And then I don't know his probation violation. I don't think estrogen blockers will violate that. But
so he can't fight. He's not fighting for 2 years.
2 years. For estrogen, because if he would have took a tainted supplement, you probably would have got 6 months. You get in 2 years with estrogen blockers.
That's a giant...
2 years, and he's 28, so the 2 best years of his life. And then... But the thing, fans just they can't forgive you on this one, because UFC. Let's just think about this: UFC 200, hands down the biggest UFC of all time. The card was the biggest of all time. You're the main event against Daniel Cormier, who you guys have been scheduled to fight 4 times, and it's fallen out for whatever reason. Finally, it's here. They've put in all this marketing dollars. You got Brock Lesnar on the card. You got Misha Tate. You got Aldo. You got Frankie Edgar. You got Cain. Right? You have who's fucking who, and 2 days before the fight, you fail a steroid test. So then the fans, remember, let's go back to where he started. He was drunk, high, hit a pregnant lady, broke her arm, fled from the scene. We forgave him for that for whatever reason. I did too. I was like, well, mistakes. He's not that young, but mistakes, whatever. He fled from that, does his time. We all forgive him. He comes back. And now you completely fuck yourself. The fans are just like, fuck you. Fuck you. There's no way.
Explain to me what he was thinking. We know, first of all, he's winning without steroids. First of all, he's winning.
Is he, though? Let me tell you this. If you're taking estrogen blockers, I'm not going to taint his career, but I'm going to tell you this. It's just not something you tried out once, especially when USADA's snooping around.
Right.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. If you took estrogen blocker, that's not an uncut. If he took a supplement and there's like some weird testosterone booster they got from GNC, I'm like, all right, yeah, that's whatever. When there's estrogen blockers,
steroids.
well, now you're probably dealing with a doctor, a scientist. There's a whole track here.
Sure.
Yeah, it's.
But we also know wasn't there a story where people came, and I don't know if this is true, but there are rumors that when people came to test him one time, he hid under the ring,
under the mat,
for a long time, and might have even peed under there.
Yep.
And they were going to come back and test his pee.
And they were trying to scrape that to test the pee.
Damn.
So your whole you can't. It's such a bummer. I mean, you're talking. I mean, remember when Mike Tyson just had this epic meltdown? Remember that?
Yes.
That's what you're seeing.
So
there.
2 questions.
It's game over.
One is there any way for him to appeal that? Will they make an exemption?
A and B, there's no exemption. No.
So you're done for 2 years. We're
Done
not going
for
to
2
see him
years.
fight for 2 years. Okay, so that's the first question. The second question is why? When you could have done it without it, or maybe he's never.
That's the thing.
Okay.
I'm not.
But
I'm
also,
not making
they're
accusations.
testing
But
like motherfuckers. You're not going to beat.
you know what the problem is? You have someone in your ear who goes, "Bro, I'm a doctor, or I'm a scientist. I'm ahead of this. This will be out of your system before you fight." What's random now, my man?
It's random now.
Or maybe he thought they're not going to check for this, or he thought he was ahead of the curve or something, and he got caught. And it was the biggest mistake ever made by a UFC fighter. Ever. You're the pound for pound greatest of all time.
I hope he saved his money.
Game over.
And the best he can hope for is in 2 years come back and basically win and do something. What do you think of the fights overall?
I wasn't that impressed. I mean, listen, it's no one's fault. I thought the captain of the day by far goes to Cain Velasquez. I thought he looked absolutely amazing. Good. Travis Brown, and obviously I know this, is a complete monster. Hasn't looked great since he switched camps, let's be honest. He beat me, whipped he fucking do. I tell dick jokes. And then he poked Matt Mitrione in the eye. Yeah. It didn't look great. And then he got beat by Andrei Arlovski, right? Yeah. And then, now you got this.
Boy, Cain looked like the old Cain. And didn't even keep his head, didn't pin him up against the cage. It was almost like Cain was
he just outstruck him.
Yeah, Cain was like,
he was like, oh, you think I'm going to fight like that?
Check this out.
Here's a spinning wheel kick to your beard, son.
Yes.
Badoom.
And I'm going to come in and I'm going to close that. Bang, bang. Here's a spinning wheel kick to distract you. Caught you a little bit. Bap, bap,
then let me mount you from the back like you did old my friend, little Schaub here. I'm going to do the same to you. I'm going to do the same to you. Brown pride, son. Brown pride, son.
And by the way, didn't even bother to. It was just amazing. The whole thing was mind blowing. It didn't even bother to keep the way he fought Junior Dos Santos, head in his chest the whole time, head in his chin.
See, guys like that,
step back, bap, bap, bap.
USADA helps guys like Cain and DC.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Because they went, oh shit, yeah, they are testing. Wow. We've never done shit. Check this out. So I bet we see Cain the next the champ.
I think so.
He'll fight the winner of Overeem Stipe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm putting my money, and I think Stipe's a bad motherfucker. I'm putting my money back on Cain, I think, and only for one reason. I think Stipe is just as good a wrestler. Both D1
not just
guys?
as good. No.
Okay.
Cain's a better wrestler.
But for UFC, for MMA,
Cain's by far better.
Oh, he is.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we got that.
Yeah.
Second of all, Cain doesn't get tired. We know that.
That's Stipe's worst matchup. If Stipe can get through Overeem, Cain waiting there is trouble.
Yeah. Do you think that since we're probably going to see a revolving door of champions, is this bad for the sport?
At light heavyweight, or what do you mean?
Just in general, man.
I think it is because you look at Joanna, right?
Yeah.
Jen Jake or whatever the fuck her name is, Joanna, JJ. We'll call her JJ. She's brought so much attention to the 115-pound division because she's such a monster. Look at Ronda for the longest time. Now 135 is kind of set, right? Yep. So you need these dominant champs. I agree. When the door's rotating, it's not you can't latch on to these stars. You just can't, which is a big reason why I believe the UFC sold. Because I went, all right, UFC in 2015 was our biggest year by far. We had Ronda emerge like a motherfucker. Conor McGregor never got bigger.
Legit mainstream stars.
Yeah. They're all, Conor lost. Ronda got kicked in the face talking about having babies and suicide. And then Jon Jones, is it done? Name who do you have? Name a major star who you have.
And you know what's funny?
So that's the thing. Dana White and Fertitta, both of the Fertitta brothers, you can't say they're stupid because they're not stupid in the least bit. No. The blueprint for their business plan, $2 million to $4 billion.
Incredible.
They're going to talk about this in Harvard Business School. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they're brilliant. They trust when I say this. They sold for a reason. They looked down the road and went, Ronda's out. Misha just lost. We had to call Brock Lesnar, fought in basically 5 years. Shit. Yeah. Conor lost. Okay, well. Yeah, it's never going to get bigger. Let's get the fuck out.
Wow.
Which is why I think they had a one bat signal with Brock Lesnar. Like, when we say we need you, we're going to fucking need you. Just give us one more fight. Brock went, you got it. They called him up, went, hey, my man, we're about to sell. UFC 200 needs to be the biggest we're ever going to have. We need you to step up to the plate.
The numbers?
You won't have to test either. Biggest gate they've ever had. We don't know the numbers yet, right? biggest gate they've ever had. I'm sure the numbers are huge, but then you look at the
very smart
the fights.
Well, they're very smart decisions. So I was watching Johnny Hendricks, who doesn't look like he almost. It's like where does Johnny go from here?
Talk about a guy who's
missing weight. It looks like he almost doesn't want to be there the way he did. When
looks like the show's over.
Yeah. So you got Johnny Hendricks, who was a former UFC champion, couldn't look any better. And
has the hype train ever fallen off worse than that?
It's just maybe that's also part of the game for a lot of guys. The game evolves. You're not totally into it. Maybe
it's not even that it evolved. I think maybe he's just over it. Yeah. Like he doesn't even look like he wants to be in there.
But here, let me ask you this.
And remember, when I was on Rogan last week, I said the two guys who need a win more than anyone on this card is Johnny Hendricks and Travis Brown.
Yeah.
Because they lose those two fights, where do you go from there?
It's tough.
It's a tough road.
The other thing is, like, I feel like you'll see a guy, back in the day, you'd see a guy who had a great monster right hand, his timing, boom, or Ronda's armbar. They'd have one go-to move that was really hard to stop.
Yeah, the one trick.
Now it feels like with these guys who have these amazing teams, you got guys who go, hey, dude, if you want to avoid that, just do this in that fight. Now you've taken that away. And you see a lot of fighters who, if they don't change that, or if they don't have the right team to tell them to keep working on what they're bad at, they look like just another fighter sometimes.
Yeah, they're getting phased out. I'll tell you who's not getting phased out. Our boy who just came in.
Jerry Ferrara, ladies and gentlemen.
Who is not a fighter.
Who's not a fighter. By the way, couldn't be more trim. Couldn't be more trim. He's ready for the 135-pound weight class, number one. I've never heard a bad word about you, bro.
You know, actually, and I'm a big fan of the show, guys. And boys with, not a name drop, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes.
He came in here. He brought me up, and you actually said, never heard anyone say a bad word about Ferrara.
Yeah. Everybody likes you, bro.
You mean that, because now it's the second time.
No, yeah, he's not honey dick. No, he's actually.
No, I really do. And you were, when I did 2 episodes of Entourage, and you were so cool to me. But that's who you are.
You have to big time a little bit, though. You know, you're like, hey, man.
Nah, you know what? I got big timed very early when I first moved out here.
By who?
I don't. Let me think about if I'm a second. Let me think.
Just give us a hint.
It was from a very popular early 2000s sitcom.
Okay.
All right. Wow. And I just remember what that felt like. I couldn't understand why this person would kind of. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I was a little punk, fresh out of Brooklyn, so I took it as disrespectful.
Was it Ryan Reynolds?
No, it was not Ryan Reynolds.
Who I'm a fan of. I've watched Deadpool and I love it. I love that guy.
Deadpool.
Okay, as long as it's, I don't know, but I hope he's not a dick because I like him a lot. I'm a fan.
Not Ryan Reynolds. I don't think it's. Yeah, no. Let me.
Somebody from Friends.
Is he still working?
Yeah, no. But if he wants, he doesn't have to.
You know what? We'll come back around to it.
Let me warm up. And
yeah, we'll come back around to it. So let's continue with UFC talk before we keep grilling him. So you watched UFC 200?
I did. In the process of moving, it was like the last thing I'm telling the move. I'm like, please don't disconnect.
Yeah, let me.
And so I was watching as much as I could in and out because there was chaos going on.
Bro, I watched it on a mountain in Hawaii from FaceTime. My brother FaceTimed it. Jesus. So I got no dialogue, nothing, just a shitty reception.
But still, I mean,
it's hardcore.
That's hardcore. I respect that.
Well, it's just because I knew Monday was a big day. Like we did Rich Eisen this morning, which I had to break down the UFC, obviously fighting the kid, and then we had a big week, so I had to watch it. You know, I had to.
So I'm coming in here late though. I know I don't want you guys to rehash what you read, but
no, we were literally just to break.
It.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
I mean, overall, I think it was a bit of a letdown. You look at it. Started off as the prelims were good.
Right.
They stacked the prelims. The prelims were good, but then when you get into the main card, Cain started off like a banshee. Oof. He looked brilliant.
Cain Velasquez is back.
So he looked great. And then after that, I mean, Aldo looked amazing.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Freaking amazing.
And I can't wait. I'm very excited about 2 things. 1, Cain Velasquez's return. 2, Aldo McGregor 2. I want to see that fight again now because Aldo looks ridiculous. Couldn't look stronger. Oh, jacked.
Let's wait for that drug test to come back.
Hey, easy now. Excuse me. Excuse me. They would have found something by now. And finally, I want to see Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes. That's the fight I want to see.
Yeah.
No, you're not as excited about it.
Yeah, that does nothing for me.
What about Brock?
See, I don't think Brock fights again.
No.
I think he's done.
I think
I'm a WWE fan too, so I like.
Ooh, let's talk about this. I love WWE.
Do you really?
I don't love WWE. I love talking to the fans because I don't understand it. So like, because you're a grown man and it's fake.
No, I get it. I get it.
But with Brock Lesnar, especially with the UFC selling, I think the UFC had their one get out of jail free card, and it was Brock Lesnar, and they were going to sell right after UFC 200. They're going through negotiations. They needed the big headliner. Jon Jones falling out. Jon Jones in DC is not going to get you to record numbers.
Yeah.
Conor would, but he pulled out, right?
Yeah.
He's out. So they pulled that one get out of jail free card. Boom.
Threw it on the table.
Brock Lesnar. And for Brock, I don't think people realize how hard this is. To take that much time off and then beat a top 10 guy in the world is insane.
Yeah.
He's a freak athlete.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
And did
freak.
it in a smart way. Kind of just every
He
time.
has no other option.
Yeah, every
He has
time
no
Mark
other
came
option.
close.
That second round, I was like, oh shit,
Grab
Brock's about to gas out.
Yeah.
That rudiment amateur striking is not going to be good.
No. Throwing a couple of those jabs. And then just,
Yeesh.
I was like, don't get in within striking distance, please. Smart.
I thought he looked, for taking that much time off, I thought he did enough to win. Was it exciting? No. I just think it hurts the sport.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think it hurt overall as a
Is it
sport.
because now like you said, he might be done? And
I think he's done.
So we're not going to actually get the story of him like he fought once, and maybe he comes back in 2 years from now. But how old is he? He's what, 30?
42, right?
Is he 42?
Or is he 39?
That's crazy.
Oh,
He's 39.
Is he 39?
I'm 36, and like I had a hard time getting here.
Yeah, hard time getting up the
Getting out of
stairs.
bed, like I heard something. I had a hard time getting here, and
He's okay,
Those
so
guys.
he's 38. So he is, especially as heavyweight, that's not too old. It's tough, man. I don't know. With them selling, I mean, you can't have a guy him going in. What's he gonna do? Fight for the title, leave for 2 years. Fight for the title, leave for 2 like. Because what's next for him? It's not out of the realm if he wanted to fight that next he fights for the title. It's not out of the realm that he fights Cain next, then the winner of Stipe Overeem.
Yeah.
For Brock Lesnar to be your champ, he's one or
him and
two fights
Cain
away.
would be- I mean,
I think Cain beats
his ass.
the brakes because he ain't taking Cain down.
No.
Although he did take him down that first one, but Cain popped up. Cain already beat him, but
Yeah, Cain.
I think
Cain will do
and Cain beat the real Brock.
Yeah.
The Brock that was picking Undertaker up over his head, slammed him down.
Yeah.
Not the Brock that had to get off shit for 4 weeks.
He did what's called piece him up.
Yeah, he did piece him up.
Pieced him up. a
Brown
little bit.
pride style.
Yeah, brown pride.
See, I think it hurts sport to jump back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now we're mixing this realm of entertainment and like the WWE fans are like, so fucking told you, bro. Dude, Triple H is next.
What?
No, man. Triple H has no wrestling
How is he
background.
going to escape from that pedigree that Triple H hits people with? That's what his finishing
There you
move's
go.
called.
There you go.
That's it.
Bro, when the Undertaker, if he grabs you in that octagon by the throat, fucking
Choke
power
slam.
drives you, bro.
You're going to tap.
Yeah. Bro, you imagine Stone Cold in that bitch? Yeah, I can. I really can. And those old knees with the braces on them get fucking annihilated.
Fighting is very different than weightlifting.
Because you look at CM Punk. Like, who you're a big Boston fan, right?
Yes, huge.
Huge. You like the Red Sox?
What's that?
You love the Red Sox?
No.
Patriots.
No, I'm a New York guy.
Why did I think you were
boxing.
Boston?
He thought you said boxing.
Oh,
I
thought you said Boston. I said Boston.
I thought you said boxing.
You like the Yankees.
Wow.
Really? I
See, okay,
I have a
good.
speech
Thank you.
impediment.
He's from Bensonhurst, New York.
So you
Yankees,
okay?
Knicks,
Great. So you like the Yankees?
Yes.
Right. You're a star. Think about you calling up the Steinbrenners, going, "Hey man, big fan. I got a big following. You mind if I take a couple swings?"
You let's get a little BP. Show you
Where
what
do
I can
you stop at that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey man, I love the fucking Jets. You mind if I just get in there, take some hikes? Is that cool?
I'll get
where
some
do you,
practice
Where do you
first.
stop? Like, where does the entertainment? And then you have the WWE previews during the UFC.
Yeah,
It's
which was
you're blurring
talked about,
the
yeah.
lines like so crazy because I think by selling they're gonna cut all that shit out. Because someone's gonna come in like, listen, dudes, fucking Triple H loves the fucking Carolina Panthers, but he's not playing quarterback for him, right? I don't care how big of a star he is. We got to make this legit. So you're going to need a business mind in there. He's like, you guys want to take this to the next level? This is how we're going to do it. We got to stop all
I
this
think their
gimmicks.
biggest challenge is figuring out how to make and keep champions that people identify with.
It's the fight game, though.
It
And
is.
there's too many ways to lose in MMA, right? Like with
That's
the
the
small
problem.
gloves.
That's the
Is it
problem.
a problem? Because Ronda did damn good at it.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to. Jon Jones, I don't think he was ever going to lose.
Right.
The only thing he lost to was
He
lines
beat
of
himself.
coke.
He beat himself.
That's it. He lost to a syringe in his
Failed-
ass and
failed the
lines
drug
of coke.
test.
I know. I was. I was 1 to 10. How shocked were you when that came out? that like. And the timing of it, I was blown away by. I just couldn't believe it.
timing.
I didn't want to believe it, and I also couldn't believe it.
What was that timing about? Why did they have to wait that like?
We went over this, B. Remember?
No, I know,
Because it
but
was like
they
a
had to wait for the
potential-
second
No, because
result. No, I know, but
because when they test it, it takes
I
takes
got you.
that
It takes
amount.
weeks
Yeah.
because they were making sure that that's in there. They're testing it so finite to make sure. Because again, if I come out and like Bryan's on shit, and for whatever reason you weren't, or it was a mess up,
stain is always there.
dude, you're getting
Yeah.
sued through the gazoo, and that's their job. So it takes a while to go through the whole process. So it sucks for them. But I thought people were Jamie Rogan's producer. I was in Hawaii, so I didn't have my phone on me. I get back like 7 o'clock at night, and he goes, "Holy!" He sent me a meme of the Jordan face next to
Crying Jordan
yeah,
face.
crying Jordan
That's
face
like the
next to
new
Jon
Reaper.
Jones.
You don't
It
want to
really
see
is.
that crying
You
Jordan
don't, man.
face. Something happened
Yeah,
that
for real.
someone's not happy.
Yeah.
And I
about.
put, haha, very funny. He goes, "No, man, he's out." I went, "Bullshit." So I text Rogan. I went, "Is that real?" He goes, "Yep." I
mean, that was a huge
It's very
blow.
rare things shock me. I was like,
Yeah.
holy fuck. Holy fuck.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's insane, man.
Now-
and then game over. And then for DC, if staying with UFC 200 with Daniel Cormier and Anderson Silva, again, what a great job by Dana to save the card. You pull out Anderson Silva,
Yeah.
which everyone knows.
Yeah.
So then, all right, John's out. Hell yeah. Anderson Silva, dude, this can be sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, DC. Hey, man. You got to play the game a little bit, brother. Now, as a fighter, and I've been there, fighting LeVar Johnson, dude, I'm going to wrestle your ass. You can't wrestle. I'm going to wrestle your
Yeah.
ass. Get my payday. See ya.
Yeah.
You ain't knocking me out. As a fan, I was like, holy shit. this
Standing,
is-
standing and trying to bang, even with an older Anderson Silva, is a pretty
I
risky.
think DC went from fighting Jon Jones, and then on 2 days' notice, he gets Anderson Silva, and everyone felt sorry for DC. By the end of that third round, everyone hated DC. How weird is our sport? People were booing DC.
Well, they just thought if Anderson can come back after 2 days' notice, after having his gallbladder removed, after not doing a camp, after weighing, he weighed in with his clothes on, I think 196, smaller. To see him beat, if he would have won that belt, we'd be like, what?
it wasn't for a belt, which was
Yeah, that's
interesting,
true.
too.
Actually, it was three rounds
3
too,
rounds.
which makes sense.
I don't know. Again, hats off to DC.
Yeah.
You're not winning any fans. Like no one's like, oh God, I gotta see DC fight next, man.
Yeah.
That shit was sick.
It was.
You're just not helping your brand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. It
Like
was
no
tough.
one's gonna be like, dude, that.
Would you
Anderson
have?
Silva-
Would you have just said no way? I'm not fighting.
No way. I would have fought 100%.
Oh, you
You
would've
went
fought.
through a whole camp.
Oh, but you would've stood-
UFC 200
Yeah.
is the biggest card in UFC history. So I'm sure they tossed DC a bunch of names, but
Okay.
Anderson Silva's the one. It's a
Right.
name.
That's
fight
the one
your
you want.
easiest fight.
Because
you want to
can-
fight the most famous, easiest fight possible.
Okay.
Chael Sonnen's notorious for saying that. You want to fight the most famous and easier fight, the
Yeah,
easiest fight you
of
can.
course.
That's the game. Of
course.
I get paid the same.
Of course.
Trying to think how I could relate that to acting.
Well, dude, you've lost.
like the
you look
easiest job, the
but bro, you
biggest
look.
name.
I wouldn't recognize you, and I mean that as a compliment. In other words, you look like you're in fighting shape. How much weight did you lose,
I lost 60.
dude?
How?
205.
Dude, how
How?
the fuck did you do that?
Slow and steady. Like I went through a lot of different thoughts on how to do this, and just the advice I kept getting and coming back to is like, look, don't do some diet that's going to last 2 months and you're going to gain 70 back. Like,
Yeah.
just change your life.
It's a lifestyle.
And, I started when I turned 30, so it's been going on for like 6 years, but it was slow. I'm talking pound or two a month. I never
good.
lost more than like 5 pounds in 1 month. But when I was losing, it wasn't just water weight and all that. It was fat.
But how did you do it?
Man, I started with a 1,200 calorie a day diet.
God, dog.
At 205.
So a restricted diet.
I would have killed someone, like with the amount of rage and hunger. I couldn't even. The first week, I locked myself in my house.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm just gonna get through this first week, almost detox from all the sugar and the salt that you're used to eating.
Yeah.
What made you want to change? Was your agent like, hey, bro, listen.
No, that's the thing. It had nothing to do with career stuff. Like I went and got a real deal physical. Actually, it wasn't real deal. I'm sorry. I'm correct. Like I was actually going to start a movie, which if you recall, like you go start a movie, they make you take a physical. It's a joke. They make sure you're like not dying.
Yeah,
if you have
they-
a heartbeat
yeah.
and you're not blind or deaf, go make a movie. That's what
well,
they say.
UFC medical is the exact same, my friend.
Same thing, and you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This
Very similar.
one doctor, it was like a week
Very
after my
similar.
30th birthday, was being very thorough. I'm just like, is something wrong?
You
Is
checked
there
your prostate?
something? No, I wasn't there yet, although that's coming up. Jesus Christ. But he was being very thorough and just started talking. He's like, look, you're not in any health danger. You're fine. You're a healthy guy. But he's like, you're 205 pounds, you just turned 30. It's easier to start now than when you're 40. So just don't let time get away from you. And he didn't put it in a way where I got scared. It just made sense to me. And I just started making calls, and I started changing everything that week. And yeah, man, it's been a slow grind. But now it's like I don't think like, oh, I'm on a diet. This is just the way I.
You just stay away from sugar and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, when I first started working out, the trainer I was with, he put me on the treadmill. He's checking my heart rate. He's like, yeah. He's like, how old are you? I'm like, 30. How much you weigh? 205. He's like, try not to get your heart rate above 120 yet. I'm like, 120?
Because he didn't want you to die.
It's just like, let's build to this slowly. Wow. I was only able to like walk like a mile and a half for like 35 minutes.
There is something about that, though. Doing things like just taking your damn time with it, man. Slowly.
6 years, yeah, that's a long burn.
That's a long burn.
But I've been through many different. Yeah, I've been through like so many different things where I was doing like weightlifting stuff, then I was doing boxing stuff,
just mixing it up,
jiu-jitsu stuff, and now I've been playing basketball 4 days a week. So I'm always constantly looking for
good for you, man.
Because I get crazy bored.
Coming back, going to Brooklyn, your hometown, to shoot the second season of Power.
Well, it's my second. It's the show's fourth. Yes,
but all that matters is that it's your second, and you're going home. 50 Cent stars, produces.
Yes.
Silent Kid alumni, 50 Cent.
Yep.
That's right.
How is that show doing?
It's doing really, really well. It started off, and I actually was supposed to be a part of it season 1, but the Entourage movie actually conflicted with it.
Yep.
But
by the way, they took some time to get that made.
It did take some time.
Dealing with people's.
How did you feel about doing that? Like it, and I don't know your world as obviously as well as you guys do, but like. Do people see you and go, turtle? And did you want to get away from that? So when they offer you the movie, were you like, God damn it, I'm finally getting away from this turtle thing?
You know, it's a really, I mean, I think it's a semi-interesting conversation. Not even because it's me. Like, I've seen other people sort of go through it. It's like, just when because we had the luxury of actually knowing when Entourage was going to end. Like, we knew in, like, season 5, we're going 8 years, and then we're done. So timing out with the fact that I got in shape, I had all this time to like start to get away from the show, and I was actually doing pretty well for me. I'd done 3 or 4 movies. I was getting in rooms. It was like, okay, we broke it a little bit. It's sort of going. It'll never go away, but it's decreasing. Like people are starting to look at me as Jerry and not the guy from Entourage.
Yeah,
and then
man.
When the movie comes up, it's like, if I'm being honest, and I even told Doug Ellen this and Steve Levinson is like, do we really want to do this? It's been like 4 years.
It did take
ended on such a good note, I thought.
Yeah. I feel like it was a bad timing part. No disrespect to anyone, but
a lot of things have changed too since the show.
Yeah, when it came out, it was like, hey man,
how'd the movie do?
It definitely did not meet expectations. Yeah. It was not considered like a flop failure or anything, but it was. If you would have asked, some of the people involved making it, you would have thought for sure the movie would have did exponentially better than it did.
I think just the hype. It's like the Friends doing a fucking reunion movie. What? I stopped watching that.
Doug Ellen's had a tough time replicating any of that success.
I think anybody would too.
Yeah,
to a degree,
of course.
Like, so much of it also is lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, man.
Because we didn't really even know what we were doing in those first 2 years.
Chemistry,
you were around it too. Like we were figuring it out as it went. First 2 years, not many people were watching the show, and then season 3, just something happened.
Boom.
Yeah.
And not everyone, but a lot of people were watching the show.
I remember the reason I asked about that whole turtle thing and trying to get away from it, because Piven's our buddy, really good friend.
Yeah.
And Piven was saying how he was talking to this girl at dinner, and she was like, God, I thought you were going to be an asshole. He's like, excuse me? She goes, yeah, like Ari Gold. He's like, it's a character.
Right.
That I'm playing a role.
Yeah.
Check, please. It's like, what? And so for him, especially, like, people think he's that intense, like Ari Gold, and he's far from it,
right?
Man.
Dude,
he's brilliant.
Well, Jeremy was smart because he went to another country.
He left.
He's starting another TV
Mr.
show.
Selfridge.
I'm going to take a little break,
Couldn't be
guys.
any more opposite.
Yeah, I'm going to go over there and do that, and I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back.
Like that. That's why I thought, because for you, like I saw you About Last Night, which I loved, About Last Night too, all that stuff, and then it goes back to Because I'm sure your agent was like, I mean, listen, you can do it, man. It's a motion, big picture.
Here is the problem with it. It's like, And I really did resist it to a degree. There was all these talks like, oh, who's slowing it down? It's not that I was slowing it down. It really became about the business part of it. It's like, hey, if we're going to do this, and I'm not saying we're just doing it for money. That's not ever why you just do anything. To me, anyway, you have to have some sort of enjoyment doing it. But, you know, we have to make sure that if this doesn't go well or doesn't go right, which it didn't necessarily go right, that it was at least worth the risk, because it is a risk at that point for all of us to go back in
For sure.
and play those characters again. That it'll never go away. But like I said, I was doing all right, and I'm still doing all right.
Heck
but
yeah.
It took a minute too after we did the movie to kind of reset again. So
bet,
now you gotta hit that reset button again. I only got so many of those in me.
For sure.
Dude, there's
I only got so many button pressing.
There are so many examples of people that come off a show like that and never work again, or it's never the same. And that's why I was thinking about it. You and Jeremy are the only guys, and it's not a knock on anybody, because I think Kevin Conley's great.
And Conley's
Kevin's
directing.
he's doing his own
great.
thing.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing well, because
directing.
he's a smart
No,
guy.
he's doing well. He's
that
directed.
dude.
He's actually owns
Yeah.
the rights to the Kimbo
It's
Slice
just a
story.
very,
right.
it's a very weird business, is all I'm saying. And you just, for 1,000 reasons, things can either work really well or they don't work out so well.
Perception is reality, unfortunately. Like you were talking about Jeremy, like I literally feel like I've disappointed fans of Entourage when they meet me in real life, because they expect, let's go smoke a blunt and fucking listen to music in the
Let's get
Hummer.
our New York hats and fucking
we're going out tonight. I live with my girlfriend for like 4 years. I'm going to bed at like 10:30 tonight. I feel like I've been disappointing people for years.
It's a character.
Yeah.
I'm an actor.
It's a
fucking
character.
idiot.
It's
I
a
certainly
character.
was a lot more like that around the time I was 21, 22 when I first
Sure.
moved out here. I know who that dude is, but
Yeah. Because you did. How old were you when you moved out here?
I was 20 when I moved out here, and Entourage came along when I was 23. So,
Damn.
yeah.
That's not a bad gig to get. Not a bad gig to land.
Yeah, in 2 years.
Oh, man. I still, like, I don't know where the time has gone. I'm not trying to get into, like, a soft-ass conversation,
bring
but I
it.
really just don't know where it all went. Like, how fast. Like, I get mad at myself. Like, did you enjoy it as much?
You didn't stop and
Did
smell
you
the
take,
roses.
Because I was always so afraid someone was going to take it away from me,
I hear
you
you.
know?
God.
So I lived out
No
of, like,
shit.
safety and protection.
And you never
Not
enjoyed
a bad idea to do that. Not a bad idea to live out of safety and protection, because a lot of guys, they go out and they buy the Bentley and a house they can't afford.
Here?
Yeah, dude. Well, you know, you're good with money, but
But I think I don't think
Yeah.
he's talking about spending money. You're talking about, did you enjoy it? Did you stop and smell the roses and the experience and what you were going through on a major TV show, the
Yes.
biggest TV show at the time? I don't think he's talking about Bentleys and money.
yeah.
You're talking about, did you enjoy the process? Me and Bryan talk about this all the time with our live shows and the podcast, and all, like, we were on Ridiculousness, which is a big show.
Yeah.
I stop and look at Bryan. I do this every now and then. I go, podcast come along.
You
way,
have
my
to,
man.
dude. You have to.
Or in
gotta.
Chicago, sold out Vic Theater. I look at Bryan, I go, podcast came a long way, my man. And then we keep going, you know?
Yeah.
That was the best part of the Entourage movie. That was like the mandate for myself. It's like, no matter good or bad, however the movie does, I'm going to enjoy this process. And I did. It was almost like a band getting back together. Like, all right, one more concert, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to do one more.
Yep.
Maybe we're probably too old to be out here playing these songs.
Yeah.
But let's go.
how
do
was
it?
it? How was the shooting
Making of it
Yeah.
was
awesome.
awesome. I mean, there was one little hiccup. I accidentally broke Kevin Connolly's leg.
You did?
Yeah,
who
not
told
fighting related. Unfortunately, I wish it was a cooler story. Like,
I
we
heard
got
that.
into a tussle.
Yeah.
And I just broke his shit. No,
Yeah.
we were like playing flag football on the beach in a scene.
God damn it.
And I broke his leg. But outside
Hey,
of
Kevin,
that,
drink more milk. Get stronger bones.
outside of that, the whole process of making the movie was awesome, and I enjoyed every single moment of it.
Are you and the cast close? Like, do you guys stay connected or not?
Very.
really?
You know, Jeremy's been gone. Now I know he's back and done with London, but, you know, he's been gone for a while. We did the London premiere. It's kind of cool because we kind of then went to, like, his home in a way because he was there working.
Right,
yeah,
So
man.
that was pretty cool. But, yeah, like, Kevin Connolly and I talk almost every day.
Grenier's a little bit strange, huh? Bit of a flower child.
Who's that?
Adrian, who
Adrian,
played the Vince
yeah.
character.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't classify him as strange.
Shit,
I mean,
he was in
maybe,
Devil
like-
Wears Prada.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's more normal and dude-like than you think.
Boring? No, sorry, Jerry. He's your castmate. I'm being a dick.
It's all right, bro.
I never do that.
I've been in the hot seat.
He was the
before.
only guy. He was the only guy who I was just like, I don't know, man. He's just maybe he's just not. Maybe he doesn't feel like a dude to me. Maybe he just doesn't feel like the kind of guy.
I promise I'm not dropping my podcast name on yours. But I had Connolly and Doug on mine like a few weeks ago, and we told this story about
what's the name of your podcast?
Bad for Business, because it's an awful idea for me to do this. But Connolly talks.
I already like it.
Connolly talks about a scene we were shooting in season 1 where our characters are coming out of a strip club in the afternoon after meeting the Billy Walsh character. And in the script, it says the guys light a joint as they get into the Hummer and drive off, right? And Adrian's like hell-bent on like lighting the joint. We're at the Body Shop, I think, on like the middle of Sunset Boulevard at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, creatively, Connolly's like, why would we light this joint here in the middle of broad daylight when the car is 10 feet away? Why wouldn't we just get into the car? Yeah. And Adrian goes, well, maybe it's just because you're a fucking pussy. and like you would have heard all the equipment being moved by the grips, everything just stopped. Like, and now I'm getting to know Adrian at this point too. I never would have thought those words would ever come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
That's and brilliant. Connolly was so, and Connolly, like, look, Connolly's my size, but Connolly is not afraid of anything. Exactly. Like, but he was even like, didn't even know what to do. He was like,
damn.
He went walking off. He didn't know if he should be angry, hurt. He didn't know what was going on. And then we all talked, and Adrian actually said, guys, I've never had brothers. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother, single mom. Like, I don't know how to act a little bit. So we were always like his brothers.
That's so interesting.
Like he didn't grow up in locker rooms.
He didn't understand.
Never.
Yeah, because guy protocol, guy etiquette.
Didn't have it.
If you said it to a dude, you know that he might smack you in the mouth. You better know. Like, you don't know who you're talking to, right?
That might be his word. Like, don't call me that.
Right.
Everyone has their
like Marty
word.
McFly.
Yeah, you can always tell a dude who grew up just around like women or who didn't do necessarily sports or wasn't around that, because
they're more sensitive.
They're way more sensitive, and they tend to be also, they'll take license right away with guys.
Exactly.
Like, the first thing you do with a bunch of dudes is you delineate authority. You go, hold on, let me take a look at that guy's neck.
But you also bust each other's balls.
Yeah.
We have a friend, I won't say his name, but I'll like, nice shirt, dumbass. And just like, just busting his chops. Like, could your jeans get any tighter? It will ruin his whole day.
You got to find where those lines are and the buttons are.
God, man.
Yeah.
Grow up in locker rooms. That's what we do.
Yeah, we torture each other.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's there's no time to be really sensitive. Adrian did something that I thought was we went to dinner, a bunch of us. I was there, and this is so funny how you react.
The day you were working?
No, this was later, and he's a very nice guy. He's never been.
Yeah.
And he's also very conscientious. And here's what a dick I am. So we had leftover Chinese food or something, and the guy said, "Do you want me to package this up?" And it was in styrofoam.
God.
And Adrian goes, "I'm against it." And you know me. I'm like, first of all, I go, huh? I'm like, what? And he goes, it's styrofoam, and it's bad for the environment. I go, wrap it up. I'll take it. I'm definitely fucking taking it.
Styrofoam.
I want double styrofoam.
But B, you're the same way. Though.
I am.
I don't know why you call him out like. You're the same way.
By the way, and I'm mad because he's being good to the environment, so that makes me a dick.
Right.
So I take it back. I'm sure he's a great guy. All right, so Adrian Grenier's all right. So at the end of the day, we're all good.
But
everyone's all
good.
Dude,
like drinking this bottle, like, hey, why don't you use one of the glass ones? I'm like,
I love it.
You know
nothing
what?
wrong with it. I just don't give a fuck.
And he walks the walk, dude. Like, he walks the way. It is not a show or an act. That is him. Is who he is.
Bro,
I love him.
Bro, I was doing Warrior with Sam Sheridan.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins.
Love that movie.
And Patty Jenkins' husband. Great guy, but Sam's an environmentalist. Mm-hmm. So we shared a dressing room. We're in this big gymnasium, and he's taking a piss, and he wouldn't flush. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, not flushing the toilet. You don't have to flush if you piss. Just
yellow, leave it mellow, brown, flush it down.
We'll flush later on because he's saving water. I was like, God damn it, dude, come on.
Yeah, that drives me a little nuts.
He wouldn't, and he wasn't drinking that much water, so it smells like man piss. I'm like, get the fuck out. I'm flushing this.
I'm flushing it. Fuck you.
He's like, I'm against it. I was like, all right, well.
You're a uber sports fan, though.
Huge, man.
Super sports fan.
I only got a few more left of this acting stuff, and then, like, I want to be in a studio somewhere just talking about sports for the rest of my life. Like a network show? What do you mean? Like a Rich Eisen, Dan Patrick type?
I
haven't gone that far yet. maybe something like that. But like I always look at how can I make the hobbies that I love
into business
actually pay me so I could do them, like and work with the people that I hang out with in everyday life. Like that's what I'm always trying to do, day in and day out.
Well, starting a podcast is a step in the right direction.
It's a start. I mean,
for sure, it's a start. You look at Rich Eisen, a lot of these guys, Dan Patrick. You know, their podcasts became shows.
Yeah,
you know?
I love the format. Radio and sports talk radio was my first form of entertainment because I didn't have a TV or cable or air conditioning, Mom, in my room growing up. So I would listen to baseball games on the radio and then the post-game show and WFAN in New York.
Do you still watch baseball?
I do, not nearly. Baseball's gone down, especially with the emergence of UFC being as big as it is, and now basketball's.
So your basketball, NFL,
basketball, football, boxing, UFC. I mean, hockey and baseball are probably the only thing. I mean, I'm familiar. I watch.
Me too. I'll watch.
Casual.
Yeah, me too.
So you're a boxing fan.
I love all fighting sports, but I love boxing.
But you're diehard what? Jets fan?
Giants, yeah. Big time. And they've given me so much joy. Like, I was actually talking, I had this conversation not that long ago, like, what would I be willing to trade? How many championships would I trade of other teams for, like, the Knicks to get one? I would give, like, the 2011 Giants championship, and maybe, like, the 1999 Yankees ring for a Knicks ring. I would trade it.
You get some A-Rod stats? Dude, how about, I mean, the Knicks, they've made, I mean, out of all the free agency moves besides Golden State, they're by far number one. Most best moves. In
comparison to where they were, like last year.
They were shit. You know what your problem is? Carmelo's just not a winner. I mean, we grew up with him in Denver. You're
gonna hurt me so.
Think
bad
about it,
right
brother.
now.
Think about it. Like most all-stars at his level, they carry the team, they get it done. He just doesn't.
And the sick thing is he won the NCAA championship with Syracuse as a freshman and then left for the NBA. So he came into the NBA like, oh, this kid's a winner.
Yeah.
He was a freshman who won the championship for his team, and he was the player of the tournament. And then I don't know what goes on. Like, he maybe came into the league wanting to score and make a lot of money, which he did.
He was good in Denver, and like we went to the playoffs, but he had a solid team. And then he went to New York, and it's just like. And then you have what's his name? The monster, the big white kid, European kid.
Kristaps Porzingis, that's my nephew right there. That's my nephew, Kristaps.
Monster.
The Latvian gangster.
Yeah, dude, just monster.
He's amazing.
And now you guys got the injury-prone Rose.
Look, if you ever want to go deep, because I don't want to take up your show. I have about
This is like Rappaport.
Yeah, I have like 19 things I can go off on, but I don't want to just start eating time, but we can if you want to.
As a Giants fan, and I don't know a lot about football, but would you say Eli Manning goes down as a great quarterback?
Absolutely.
He's a great quarterback.
In my opinion, yes. And the simple fact of, and we talk, and this is another great debate, it's like, can you be an all-time great player or even fighter in anything without that championship?
Yeah.
Well, Dan Marino.
Dan Marino is an all-time great. Didn't get
Charles
a championship.
Barkley,
all-time great. But then you start having these conversations.
Can you have the same conversation though? Is Dan Marino in the same? Is Eli Manning in the same conversation as?
Well, but
Dan
Eli
Marino?
won. But Eli won a ring.
Eli's won two.
Yeah, any MVP. Yeah,
one was against an undefeated Patriots team.
Yes.
Who never if they win that game, they're the best team of all time.
And they beat them.
Yeah.
And they beat him.
And the guy who caught the miracle ball, they cut the next year. Thanks for the effort. See ya.
And they cut the next year.
But that dude could go anywhere in New York and never buy a drink for the rest of his life. That people just send him.
Enjoy that
food,
though.
Buy
give him free rent.
I think he still did all right. David Tyree is his name. I think he did all right. But yeah, you can't say Eli is better than Marino. But
Fuck no.
I mean, he's got these two rings that he could just.
Huge.
So does Trent Dilfer though. So does Trent Dilfer.
Different though, but Trent Dilfer managed the team, whereas it was a great defense with Ray Lewis and all those guys. So it was more about.
Might be one of the best defenses.
That's what I'm saying.
But Eli's not like he's not like a Cam Newton takes over the game.
No, but he had to see what
he does just enough.
You get me so fired up right now. I'm gonna jump out.
That's why I wanted to bring this up because I love this.
I do it on purpose, my friend.
That Super Bowl, yes, you could say Eli had a good game, but the defense shut down the Patriots. The 3 games before, the Giants were the last seed in the playoffs. They went on the road all 3 times, beating Green Bay, who was still with Favre, who had the best record, beating Dallas in Dallas, and I believe it was against Atlanta or maybe Tampa. I don't remember. I get the championship.
That defense was insane, though.
He was on fire, though.
The defense was insane.
Oh, you son of a... He's doing it on purpose.
No, they really are. With Strahan, you
I
got
defend
everyone.
Eli all the time. People hate him. People call him...
You know what I think it is?
He's not a great. There's no way. He's not in the top 25 of all time.
I think he cracks the top 25. Does he crack the top 15?
No.
10? No, not even close.
No.
I think you could make an argument for him being 25th, maybe.
But I
Are
swear
you the
to
same
God,
guy you think
I'm very
Tiki
realistic.
Barber's going to...
No, we started winning championships when he left.
It's true.
I shouldn't say that. Sorry, Tiki, but that's what
Sorry,
that's what's
T.
up.
Sorry, TT.
He was. I think part of the thing with Eli Manning, I swear to God, is that expression on his face.
People hated it.
He's got that face. He's got that
It's
sort of
just
like,
kinda-
like
It's
if
like
I
he couldn't
made,
give
if
two
out of
shits.
out of
Like he's
total,
at a spelling
out of
bee.
total respect for him, but if I were to make a sound effect for his face, I swear to God, it would be.
Yeah, it's...
I know it's fucked up, but
It is weird.
I always think he's going.
That's just what cold-bloodedness looks like.
Jerry, dude, you would have... I wish we had the outtakes. So Brian and I, when we were in Philadelphia doing a live show, NFL Networks said, hey, we're doing a top 10. We want you guys to
Careful
come
with
up-
those fans, dude. You're a
Hey.
big boy, so you guys are all right.
This is hilarious, though. They go, hey, we want the fine kid to break down the top 10 NFL, blah, blah, blah.
You should have said,
categories.
nope, ain't gonna do it.
Well, I'm balls deep in the NFL. I can talk NFL
Yeah.
all day. Brian, my friend here, Brian, can't. But I made him do it. It was basically, it'd be the equivalent of them going, hey, Brian, we got this History Channel. We need you to break down the top 10 moments in American history.
Right.
Can you bring Brendan? Huh? So I talked Brian into
Dude, I
it.
knew
We get to the NFL headquarters.
Nothing.
I'm in heaven. I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
Taking pictures, blah, blah. I thought we were gonna do it together. They're like, oh
They
no,
split you.
Oh no, he'll go, then you go.
Split
And
me
I went,
up.
hey B, you want me to go first so I can kind of drop some knowledge and
like
you just
an
speak back?
earwig in your
Bro.
ear.
Hey, and then they go, nah, let's have Brian go first. I went, okay, we can do that.
Oh my God. He
Brian
asked me-
goes, Peyton Manning to me is the best of all time. He had no one to throw to. He just had shit receivers. And I went,
'Cause I had heard that
And then I
once.
went, hold, I can't let him get away with that. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark. I mean, I just started going.
Someone told you that at a
Yeah, I heard that
bar,
somewhere,
so,
and I was
hey.
like, I heard that.
But they were letting him go. I went, well, nope, stop. You guys can't let him do that. I went, hold on, rephrase that, B. And he went, okay. I mean, Peyton Manning had great receivers. And then he went.
Several great receivers.
Thank God you saved me.
Hall of Fame.
By the way,
I was like, no, hold
I
on.
was so bad that the grip. You heard him go. He goes.
Because they asked Brian, I think it was top receiver
Top
duos.
10 quarterbacks.
But also receiving duos, like Steve
Right, the
Smith.
one and the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're going through
Terry
them,
Bradshaw and Lynn Swan.
and I was and then literally the sound guy who's been in the NFL for 50 years, Brian's thinking, you just hear him go,
Now, do you not get nervous? Because I'm trying to think, because I've been in situations where, all right, they may ask you about this, and I know I don't know it, but I know it's like one question I could bullshit my way enough.
Yeah.
You're sitting down doing the top
oh, that's Brian
10.
Callen.
Yeah,
Brian Callen.
That ain't no thing for you.
If I'm a comedian, and for me, it's like, look, I don't have a very high opinion of myself to begin with. It's so, like, in other words, I'm going to be made fun of for not knowing about
I'm
football.
naming the 10 worst quarterbacks.
Yeah, everybody
of all
knows
time.
that I don't know anything. I'm very,
Right.
very open about what I don't know. I know very few things, and the things I don't know, I'm very open about. So it doesn't matter. I think one of the great things about being a comic is I can get away with being just taking the chessboard and throwing it in the air.
Yeah, you get that free pass.
Yeah, you just
Like
as long as you're laughing.
today we're doing the Rich Eisen show and Sean Payton walks in. I go, Coach,
That's the man
What's
right
up, man?
there.
Shakes hand. And Brian goes, who's that? I went,
Who's this guy? What's this guy do? Who is he?
what, New Orleans Saints? Brian's like,
Super Bowl
So
champion?
now I'm calling him coach.
He goes, currently? I went,
Wait, he's the head coach?
yeah, that's it.
That's what I said.
I
asked him if he was the head coach.
I went, he's a big deal. Big deal.
Yeah, I was talking. It's good that I don't know a guy like that because it's we had a good conversation and stuff. But
Great guy, though.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
hilarious,
I
though,
wouldn't recognize anybody by I mean, a couple of guys like Shanahan maybe. And those
But
guys.
if it is up to you, your dream job would be doing like a Dan Patrick show, like First Take type of thing.
I'm slowly at that point. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'm quite there yet. I got a little unfinished business, but ultimately, yeah, I think that's where I would like to end up.
Has the head injury, concussion / brain trauma conversation and discovery soured you a little bit to football?
Absolutely, man.
Weird, right?
Do you have any friends who play?
Professionally,
close friends, yeah.
No, but I've met, like, I can't call them close friends, but I've had the opportunity to meet a lot. That was one of the cooler parts of Entourage too, was athletes for whatever reason really took to the show.
For sure.
And we had a lot of cool cameos over the years, and I go to a lot of games and stuff. So I've met a lot of athletes in my lifetime, and but so I won't say I have any good friends, but I've gotten to know some of these guys over the years, and it soured it for me in a way. At first, I was very skeptical when all this stuff started coming out more and more. It's like, yeah, of course. I always thought it was common sense. Like, you're playing a violent sport. Of course, they didn't know. But then when you start reading the studies, and I went on a major deep dive reading about it and just kind of seeing how the information was handled and not given. And
It's super shady.
It is. And then, like, I'm looking at it now coming off this past basketball season. Like, if I have a son anytime soon, not that he's going anywhere in life athletically. But,
You never know. Maybe your girl's a beast.
She's 5'5", I'm 5'6.5".
You could be a jockey. Fuck it.
You never know.
Golf. I'm gonna start playing golf.
Maybe 135er in the UFC, 125er.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna ultimately become flag football eventually.
See, I don't think
15,
that's
20
good.
years from now. I don't think it is either. And I think basketball, I'm not going to say it's going to surpass football as the American favorite sport, but I think it's going to come damn close.
You think?
I think so. I mean, globally, you can't even compete. Basketball's way better internationally.
Because everyone, soccer's bigger than shits
soccer's
on
the
basketball.
biggest
Soccer shits on
internationally,
all
but in
of
terms of American quote-unquote sports, basketball globally is probably the biggest, not counting, I don't count soccer.
Well, UFC's bigger.
Right now, yeah, that's true. You're right. Globally, you are absolutely correct.
UFC's bigger, yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Internet, like worldwide.
That makes sense, though. It's fighting. It's
Fighting,
yeah.
Brazil, like
Yeah.
China. It's
Russia,
huge.
all those
Yeah,
areas.
it's huge.
You've never been to Russia. You've never fought in Russia.
No, Brazil. That's it. Yeah, you got a point. I think...
I still love football.
But the thing is, I think if you did a poll with the current NFL athletes and you said, are you aware of what you're doing to your brain? Would you still play? And I would assume
They say yes.
85%.
But what you are starting to see, which is interesting, and the number keeps like doubling, is like players under the age of 30 who are sort of in their prime just retiring.
Look at Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, like they hit a certain, maybe a number in their head of money, and like, okay, this is what I wanted to get to. I got it. I'm 27. I feel like everything's in place. I'm done.
How much do you need? A lot of those guys are like, man, I've done it all. I think Calvin Johnson was like, I'm not winning a fucking Super Bowl at the Detroit Lions. I'm getting doubled every single play.
Barry Sanders did it. You think about when Barry Sanders did it 20 years. You talk about a guy on top of his
That's
game,
interesting, and he was.
best player at his position in the league. It's like, I'm done.
I wonder if it had to do with him having memory loss or whatever.
I don't know if it was. That's
He's
a great question.
He's never said that.
Never spoken.
I just
about
know
it.
he was, because also he's a smaller, considered a smaller, undersized
Tiny
back.
now.
Yeah.
You know, speedster. Like those hits hurt that much more.
For sure.
So.
But he was at the height of his career. I remember they took a picture of him. He showed up in Europe. He just took a little time off.
He was at the top of his game, and how many guys have ever done that?
That's hard to
Walked
do.
off at the top of
But
your
a lot
game?
of guys at the top of their game, what you see is they just don't like the game they're playing.
Yeah.
Like I watched this documentary on Greg Louganis, who was the greatest diver and still is by far. And really, it's like Andre Agassi too. Like if you hear them, the way they talk, the kind of dedication it required, and in many ways, they were running away from something, and they were just like they just weren't.
But also the two guys you're speaking of, they were in the sport long enough.
Yeah, they're also individual sports.
Cry me a river. It's tennis and diving.
Yeah.
Jump in the fucking pool.
Well, I saw an interesting.
You're jumping in a pool.
Well,
and how else are you gonna make money? It's how you got famous. You own a house on Melbourne.
Well, no, they
go ahead and put that speedo on and jump fucking in the pool. And let's not hit our head.
I love football players and fighters are like,
let's not hit our head on the diving board and put AIDS in the pool. Just enjoy that Malibu home. Shut the fuck up, right? Like,
sir.
Well, hey, man, you're jumping in Cry me a river. You're just jumping off a diving board.
No, it's a little bit more than that. It's pretty hard to do. And the Soviet diver died doing that. And he cracked.
So one guy died. Oh, we're talking about football and fighting.
I love fighting.
And you bring up
He's a macho. No,
it's not even a macho thing. But when you compare that and Andre Agassi, who was, how old was he when he retired? Tennis players don't play for long.
His back basically broke.
Yeah, he was done.
I mean,
That's
they
a
play
great
since they're
biography.
kids.
I watched something with Rory McIlroy. Some reporter asked him, like, do you ever play golf for fun? And he kind of laughed, like, For fun, no.
For fun, I make $1 million a
This
hole.
is my job. Like, this is what I do. This is fun.
Yeah,
no,
dude.
like I don't go out with like my buddies. Like, hey, let's go hit a few
No.
balls.
No.
See what
Job.
happens.
It's
Well,
serious
there's
business.
a book. The author that we met with wrote this book, and the guy stayed, under the radar. He didn't want to know who was. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's talking about how much he hated playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's the whole book is about, and how much a lot of his friends and colleagues also hated. I told you I have a friend who played in the NFL. For the game, I'm like, bro, you're about to play Brett Favre, Minnesota Vikings. This is sick. And he'd just go, yeah, pretty cool, man. I'm like, yeah. What's the matter? He's like, I hate this shit. I'm like, what? Like, it's like, what the fuck? But you get it. There's certain fighters that hate doing it, but it's all they know, and they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it hurts.
I had a photo shoot with Usain Bolt, and he was just like, fuck. Like, he didn't want to, and he's just running straight.
Yeah.
He's like, it's in my fucking contract. I can run here, man. Okay, man, but you're the best in the world at running straight. Like,
For sure, run from point A
cheer
to
up,
point B.
huh? I get punched in the face. Show a little pride, huh, pal? Jamaica.
Yeah. Make lots of money. Let's go to some current events.
Did you watch the UFC this weekend?
I did. Yeah. Yes.
And what was your takeaway from it?
I enjoy it. Rarely do I. And again, I look at it from a fan perspective. I'm not, crazy obsessive about it, but I've gotten to be. I've never really watched a card where I'm like, that was horrible. I've never really ever walked away from a UFC event. And again, you're looking at it a much different eye, and you are as well than I am. I still marvel at the sport.
Oh, for sure.
I just do. And loving boxing as much as I did, I marvel at UFC even more. Because no one ducks anybody.
Who's your well, you'd be surprised. Who's your favorite fighter?
Is that true though? Wait, are you about to ruin it for me? Because that's what drew me in more so is like the matchups, the fights, people fighting everyone. Whereas in boxing, we know.
Oh, compared to boxing, you're 100% correct.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Boxing needs to figure that out. Like
can't.
Triple G and Canelo and Andre Ward.
Like 2 years away still. I can't.
What
are the matchups in boxing you really want to see?
I would love to see Triple G and Canelo. Like I thought that would have had to happen this
year. How about they announced it? Like, it's going to happen 2017.
Fall of 2017 is like
maybe.
Great. I don't even.
How weird is that?
If I'm Canelo's manager, I'm putting that fight off for as long as I can.
Well, it's definitely not the most ideal matchup for him, for sure, or for anyone in boxing. But going back to the UFC, what I got sucked in by was the fact that it's like, let's not wait till 2017.
No, you're
let's
right.
Do it in 3 months.
Yeah, that's why the UFC.
Let's fight in 3 months.
That's why UFC got so popular, is because
Yeah.
the best of the best are fighting each other. There's not all these belts. Like, you look at the heavyweight division in boxing, it's amazing, man. But there's all these different belts. No one's gonna fight each other.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Klitschko, Fury, Ortiz. You got all these monsters.
I didn't realize that Tyson Fury was 6'9"
Oh,
inches
he's
tall.
huge.
I didn't know he's 6'9".
He's a monster.
No, I didn't
Gypsy.
realize that. And a gypsy.
Gypsy.
And will he be able to fight Anthony Joshua, or are they in two different?
No.
divisions?
So Fury's fighting Klitschko next. It got postponed. They're fighting again for the second time.
Okay.
And then Joshua doesn't have a fight. Deontay Wilder fights Areola this Saturday, and that's on, I think, Fox.
It is.
It's a PBS fight on Fox.
I want to see Andre Ward fight Kovalev. Is that going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to happen. Again, it's with boxing. So Andre Ward has a fight coming up. He wins that one. Kovalev's going to fight one, and then they're going to fight.
Kovalev's fun to watch, man.
To me, he's pound for pound best in the world.
That dude
right
is
now.
just-
He's the best to watch. Stone Cold, he killed a guy in the ring. Let's not forget that.
And kept on fighting.
Oh, yeah.
He dies.
He's
You die,
brilliant.
you die.
Let's go to some current events. What do you got, Ev?
All right, well, I think we need to kick the first one off. We have to talk about the UFC sale a little bit more. I think we might have brought it up for a second.
Yeah,
earlier in
let's
the show.
definitely get into it.
But,
real quick,
UFC
what'd you do this weekend, though, before we get balls deep in these events?
I got back from UFC 200 last night.
How
I've been
was
there
it?
Since Wednesday.
You look exhausted.
I am exhausted.
You've said two
That would
words
be-
since we've been in the studio.
That would be accurate. I think the earliest I got to sleep since Wednesday was maybe 2:30 in the morning.
Because people have to remember, the media, when all this shit hits the fan, the media has to be on the ball.
Oh, it's fucking chaos. Everything we had prepared needs to get changed.
All the
that.
previews, all the sound bites, because it's all John. John and
Throw it out,
DC.
start again.
Oh, any
Wow.
original content you would come up with that you had in the bank? It's worthless now.
So you were working like a dog.
Yep.
How was it though? Did you get to see the fights, or were you back there typing away?
Yeah, I was at UFC 200. I was at I tried to enjoy the Alvarez fight night card as a civilian. I had like normal tickets. It's like I'm just gonna sit down, enjoy it. Like it's a fight pass thing, so I don't really have like a whole lot going on for it. That's kind of the UFC's deal.
Sure.
And then the Jones DC shit happened, and I had a guy call while I'm in the stands like, we have Dana backstage. You guys can talk to him. Right, like the second like the news breaks, you'd be the first people to get to him. I was like, all right,
huge.
cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not watching the fight.
So you missed the Eddie Alvarez?
Set that up, wrangle a cameraman out of nowhere. Like, it was chaos, but it was cool.
Good for you, man.
That's wild.
We should talk about Eddie
Alvarez.
Do you see that?
Wow.
No.
Big dog too.
Eddie Alvarez murked Dos Anjos.
He murked Dos Anjos?
TKO'd him first round.
Why didn't
Bryan,
I know
do you know
this?
what murked means?
Yeah, knocked him out.
Yeah.
Why didn't I know
Your response is
this?
just a little weird to
Well,
it.
because you're in.
I was in
Italy
Europe, but I
with the
didn't
Counting
even know they
Crows.
fought. I can't
Oh
believe it.
yeah. Alvarez
Murked
is the
him.
champ now. Lightweight.
Destroyed him. And then
Wow.
Joanna won by decision too.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh
Damn.
no, Eddie Alvarez beat the Sham, and Roy Nelson.
That's the only fight I didn't see.
Roy Nelson. Well, let's be real. Roy Nelson lost
No,
to
it's the only
Derek
fight.
Lewis in a decision.
Roy Nelson did well.
Also, I think Derek Lewis knocked his tooth out in the last like 15 seconds.
Knocked Roy's tooth out.
Yeah, I saw something that looked a lot like a tooth.
Now, I know
before.
Derek Lewis was mad because it went to decision.
Hold
He
on,
was like,
Eddie
"Oh, it's-
Alvarez. So he knocked Dos Anjos out.
yeah, man, you gotta look it up."
Dude, I got to watch that fight. It's the only fight I missed.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know, right? Crazy.
good
Eddie
for
Alvarez,
Eddie
guy
Alvarez.
from
Crazy.
Bellator champion, UFC champion,
That's huge.
and then Michael Brooks beat Ross Pearson.
Michael.
Brooks, right?
Oh, Will Brooks.
Will Brooks, sorry.
I was like,
I'm
you're
mixing
Michael Chandler and Will
yeah.
Brooks.
So Will Brooks beat Ross Pearson. Not a great debut, but not bad.
Better than I thought it was going to be for him.
Really?
I bet on him just because I like the line, but I expected it to be pretty close.
From a former champ, a champ in Bellator to come there. But again, we see these guys come from Bellator to the UFC. Like Eddie Alvarez really didn't do shit for his first couple fights. I think it takes him a while because it just is, man. It's a different game. It's like going from fucking WNBA to NBA. It just is.
Yeah.
I love Bellator. I love what they do.
Well, when he
I
fought
love the whole team.
Cowboy the first time, I think that was his first fight in. They gave him Cowboy, and Cowboy.
He was a world beating. He beat Michael Chandler. I mean, that's what you're gonna get. Cowboy's not even a world champion.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UFC's a animal, man.
It's a whole different level.
All right,
Did you see the press conference that Jones had the day after the news got announced?
where's crying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
What do you think
that.
of that?
I think it was sincere.
I thought it was a little weird. I thought because he would cry and then he would go stone cold
He would-
sociopath.
Thought the same thing. He would flip
He'd be like-
between genuine
He'd be like,
and
I get through this. Like,
PR.
I've been through this before, and it's no thing.
Well,
it's no thing.
the
to
reason
me.
I believed him was because he was hiding behind the podium a little bit. So in other words, he was trying not
At
to cry.
times.
Yeah, but that when somebody tries to hide their face, then I tend to believe them. So if somebody's crying and letting the tears fall strategically, he was trying to keep it together. And
you
that's
would
where
too if your career was over.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he knows what he took. He 100%.
Of course.
Hey man.
Like Chael Sonnen said,
everyone's
Chael
very
Sonnen said, I
knowledgeable.
can tell you can take your shirt off, and I can tell you right away that you're doing steroids.
Nah, that's not true. He's coming in tomorrow. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That's complete shit. However, with Jon Jones, he knows what he did. So when that test came back positive, think about it. Your whole world goes because you know the serious offense that it is. You know you're in a 2-year ban.
2-year ban.
So when you get up there, it's game
Is the 2-year
over.
ban because he'd already been, so it compounds or
No,
something? Or?
that's the new.
I thought it was a
rules.
year.
That's the new USADA
No,
standard.
not steroids.
that seems.
Do you not have any clue that you're gonna fail? Do you really think you're gonna be able to conceal
He did.
it? You thought that, oh, this is a lock we got with a 2-year ban on the line. I'm confident enough that I can conceal it.
I know. See, again,
God,
it's
dude,
not
2-year ban on the line.
it's
It's
not-
2-year ban on the line.
It's someone from his team in his ear going, "Don't worry, you
Dummy.
clear this. By
Dummy.
the time they come, it'll be out of your system." And he put faith into whoever that was.
High level scientist telling you that.
It might have been,
I
and
mean,
they were.
It has
and
to be.
It might have been, and they were giving him some
2
estrogen,
years.
that
You're
blocker
doing-
that's going to get out of his body real quick. But for whatever reason, it didn't get out
dealing
that
with
quick.
other high-level scientists with unlimited resources.
You're dealing with the ultimate golden
What's
snitch.
2 years not fighting in the sport like?
That's well. I'll tell you what it's probably worth. It's probably lost out on
Right.
how much? $5 million.
More than that.
Okay,
Jon
$10 million.
Jones, the pound
So you're
going to
make a $10 million mistake.
More than that.
Is it worth $10 million? Let's just
more than that.
But let's just stop at 10, because
Say he's
you
gonna
know.
clear 10, so we make 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
no.
let's just say 5. Hey, Brendan, you're about to make a $5 million mistake. Are you willing to gamble $5 million? What? No, unless He needed it. Unless he's
Right.
been doing it from day one, and psychologically, he didn't believe in himself.
Again, those estrogen
Right?
blockers, that's not something that you don't go from driving a Civic to a Bentley Super Sport. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a way you get there.
There's a way you get
It's a
there.
big jump.
Estrogen blockers are a definite sign that
Yeah,
you were
it's a
taking more
bummer.
than supplements.
What was the current event of?
But yeah, so after biggest event ever, UFC's out, or well, UFC's not out, but the UFC has sold for $4 billion after the Fertitas purchased it for $2 million.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little profit there.
good margins.
Lorenzo's stepping down. You know, he's going to facilitate the transition, about 6 to 8 weeks, it's expected.
Yeah.
And then I guess new ownership will come in. Dana's staying on in his current role. Taking
now.
a minority stake. But
For now.
yeah, there's going to be some big changes coming probably.
And this is my thing. Again, the Fertitas and Dana are very smart because I don't think the UFC with Dana and the Fertitas leading the charge as the boys club is going to go anywhere else. 2015 was as big as it's going to get under them. And they realize it. There's no stars left, really. Everyone's, they have to pull Brock Lesnar, who hasn't fought in forever. They're like, man, it's time to sell it. If there's ever a time to sell it, it's now. So the Fertitas backing out, which they're brilliant businessmen. Dana, I think, will be there for a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised. Might have a source. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in a different president down the road. Because if you buy that company, you're buying it for a reason, correct? Like
A major restructuring.
well, yeah, but you're going to get the ins and outs. And then, again, Dana, there's no knock on him. The Fighters Union, that's not his job.
No.
What he did with $2 million to $4 billion is
his job.
insane.
He did
his
incredible
job, and it's brilliant. Kudos to him. All right. Well, now you're messing with the big dogs. Because now you're NBA, NFL, all of them have unions. The WME or whatever the fuck their name is, the ATT, blah, blah, blah. Whoever bought the UFC is going, all right, man. If we want to be taken serious, we're going to have to protect the fighters. Because, and I don't know the exact stats, but the UFC sold for $4 billion. Imagine the money they've made since 2002 when they purchased for $2 million.
Yeah.
The fighters' pay only doubled in that time.
That's true.
It only doubled.
Only
That's
doubled.
it?
The
It's
average
just
salary.
two?
The average salary is $30,000. We're at Apple. We're making iPhones in that Chinese factory. But that Chinese factory, you're gonna hit some head trauma on the way out.
Yeah. You get clanged in the head every time you leave.
Oh, thanks for the
every time
phone.
you punch out.
Gadoosh.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, gadoosh.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, gadoosh.
Hey, Dave.
Every iPhone.
Every time.
But so you're making pennies. But now the people who bought this are very smart. I guarantee you, if there's ever a time for a union, now's the time, fellas. And managers, every fighter, fucking listen. If your manager's not going, all right, we know it's $4 billion. $4 billion. We know there's $4 billion. It's time to renegotiate. If your manager isn't on the fucking horn right now,
But can't they tell the manager?
fire him?
Can't they tell the manager to go fuck themselves? Go to another division. There's one player in town. There's
They're
one.
not going to do that anymore. That's the old Dana mafia bully. It's us or the highway. Okay, well, I'm an athletic guy and I'm having a kid and he's a beast of an athlete. Guess where he's not going to play anymore?
Right. UFC.
You can't do that anymore. You can't bully people anymore.
Yeah.
And now
It's not a good business model.
No, now the numbers are out. Now we know how much people got paid. Now we're going to know all this stuff. There's no more discretionary bonuses. There's no more, you're one of my favorites. Here's a bonus check in the mail. Here's a car. No. We're going to run it like the NBA, NFL, like a Fortune 500 company. Corporate. You get someone in there, it's corporate now.
That's pretty much exactly most of the fighter sentiment on Twitter right now. Everyone's just talking about how they need to shift the revenue from, what do they get? Like, what do the fighters could take about
7%, sir.
7%?
And of that 7%, 4% goes to the superstars.
Yeah, so they're all basically saying we need this, like the time is now to change it to like a more like a 50-50, 54-46 revenue split like the other majors.
Because, and what's the UFC's whole thing is, we're big time. We're just like the rest of the leagues, bro. Are you? Because we're getting 7%. If you want to be like the rest of the leagues, let's go ahead and divvy this up. Because we're working our ass off. And the end game on this, we're not seeing anything, man. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. We got to figure it out. Right. So these managers should be fucking like dogs, man.
Vultures! Descend like vultures!
And I guarantee they are, man. I guarantee
How much
they are.
longer in the Reebok deal? Is it a 5-year deal?
Honestly, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Vultures!
Yeah, I wonder how it all goes down with Fox and Reebok, you know?
Yeah.
It's called the NBA union.
It's a 6-year. It's a 6-year deal.
$12 million, score 5 points a game.
For real.
$12 million
Bro,
over 3 years.
NBA free agency?
Well,
Mike Conley,
those
highest paid
owners-
NBA player of all time.
actually penalize the owners now because the salary cap went up. So if you don't spend $70 million, you get a penalty. So they're like, oh, we gotta spend it.
That's so nuts.
It's just like
It's so
that
nuts.
players union, that collective bargaining agreement is what maybe some of these managers should be looking at and talking about
good lawyers.
with a lot.
Now's the time because you need. The problem with MMA is you have just bullshit.
I didn't know those numbers at the pay
Yeah.
scale. That's kind of shocking and
Yeah. So
jarring.
Yeah. So
Jarring.
you're with those managers. You need someone from like, Mike McCarthy from the NFL, or you need these big time guys from the NFL to look at the UFC and go, well, if we're gonna do this fighters union, let's help them. You need like legit players, man, like a Drew Rosenhaus, just these beasts, man, to jump in there. Because right now there's no money in it for them. There's no money.
Next one.
No,
You get on the set?
my message to the fighters: know your worth, man. Now you know what you're fighting. $4 billion, and your minimum contract's 10.
That's 1,000 million. That's 4,000 million. $4,000 million.
And then you have fighters like that girl who fought in Canada who had to posted a picture on broke after she won a fight because she didn't get the bonus.
Yeah.
4 billion seconds is over 130 years.
It's a lot of money.
4 billion seconds.
But like I said, this
What?
This isn't a knock on Dana or the Fertittas. It's a brilliant business plan.
4 billion stars in the galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm not done with my metaphors for 4 billion. 4 billion people will watch Power. Now that Jerry's done
I'm
the
definitely
podcast.
retiring then if that's the case.
Yeah, right. You're out.
That's
See you
exactly
later.
right. 4 billion people.
I just think, yeah. They know what the company's worth, know your worth, and if there's going to be a time for change, it's now.
How many cells in the human body? Look it up. 4 billion.
Boom. What else you got, Ev?
All right.
You're right, though, Brennan. That's a
Next
crazy
one.
number.
Yeah, man.
Next one.
I wish I could
is-
joke around about it, but I can't right now with it.
I
You know
hear
what I'm
you.
saying? I just can't.
It's important to you.
Well, the thing is again, it's not I'm not knocking or
No, I
hating
know.
on Dana
I know.
Fertittas.
You're just
they
saying,
did
thank
their
God it's
job.
out there.
It wasn't their job to get a fighters union.
Right.
It wasn't their job to make sure. If the three of us ran a company like, hey man, you can pay these guys penny.
Yeah.
You two are going to make out with $400 million.
It's a-
You're going to make $400 million.
Yeah.
You're going to make $600 million. I'll make $600 million.
the days-
Yeah, I'm going to fucking run it
Well,
like
the
that.
days at the sweatshop are over.
The days of running it like the fucking good old, like a social club.
But if
it's
you,
over.
if you were to break down how much a fighter was making, it was less than minimum wage.
yeah,
most
with
of
the
them.
hours and
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
way
insane.
less. In fact, a lot of them, as you know, a lot of them would fight. They'd go through a whole training camp and come out negative.
It's gonna be interesting to have Chael Sonnen on here tomorrow because he's usually pro UFC, pro Dana White. So I'm pretty excited to debate with him.
Chael's a smart
Stephen
guy.
A. Smith and Skip Bayless ain't got shit on me and Chael. It's gonna be interesting to get in with it because me and Chael argued over text over the Reebok deal. It was interesting.
Good.
So it should be interesting.
Yeah.
What do you got?
All right, next one. Over the weekend, Derek Jeter got married. So with him getting married, he goes down as, inarguably one of the greatest, I guess, for lack of a better term,
Fine.
coxmen of all time.
But fine,
Cocksmith?
I'm just happy I don't have to compete with that guy anymore.
You were never in the same competition.
Hey,
Let me help
ladies.
you out there.
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Ladies, 49-year-old married guy with 2 kids. What's the matter? You don't like me?
Hey, there's no competition. You're in the Special Olympics. He was in the big boy
Wait a
club.
minute. Ladies, Derek Jeter's out. How about this guy over here? I'm losing my hair. I'm 49.
Dude, I'm sure you've
got a
heard
big
some
prostate.
classic Derek Jeter stories.
The one I always wanted to know if it was true or not, and it was someone actually made a great joke about it, is like when he was a little younger in like his mid-20s, whatever girls he was with, he used to give like a Derek Jeter gift basket to the morning
In the
after.
limo.
In the limo.
Yes, I've heard that.
I just
that
like
legend?
if that's true. That's just unbelievable that no one that's gone on. I need to know. I need to
The
know.
ultimate player move.
Like, did you do that once and then it became like the
Probably.
urban myth? Like, oh, he does that every time.
My
And he was
feeling-
like,
my
God
feeling-
damn it, I need 600 Derek Jeter
we
jerseys.
gotta
Nah.
sign the bats
And
today.
give us the
for
fucking
girls.
Edelbell flowers.
My feeling is that the girl had a little brother
Yeah.
who was a huge Yankees
Right,
fan.
and he did a
And
thing.
he said, here's for your little brother. And it was legend ever since.
Well, no, and then that bitch got on social media and was like, check it out, Derek Jeter limo, bitch. Edible arrangements, boom. And then every other girl's like, where the fuck's my chocolate strawberries? And he's like, God damn it. All right, let's just keep doing
That's what it
it.
is.
Really did it.
I heard
right,
it was a
though.
signed baseball, too.
I signed a
Like
DVD.
balls deep, Derek Jeter.
I signed a DVD of The Hangover, and I have to tell him who I was in it. I get the time signature. I'm in 4 minutes of this movie.
Timestamp.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Go to minute 13:20 to 15:60.
Turn up volume.
You're welcome, baby. Signed, Bryan.
Jerry G, the
Eddie
ultimate
Callen.
legend. I haven't seen his girl. I'm assuming Smoke Show Spectacular.
Hannah Davis. You've seen her.
Oh, where have I seen
Big time
her?
model.
Nah.
What a
was she
surprise.
in?
What a surprise. Let me guess. Blonde, big tits, crazy ass.
No, now she's a model.
Oh, all right. Well,
Hey, bro.
All right, so.
No, she's like a swimsuit model.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sports Illustrated chick.
Let me see her. I'll be the judge of this.
Yeah. But basically blonde, big tits.
Jeter's my dude,
Look at her.
man.
Well, she's
Well, if you're from New York,
She's
if you don't
painfully-
like Jeter, you're ISIS.
yeah.
Let's be real here,
Yeah,
Jerry.
she's a
No, she's a dime
like I
piece.
said, blonde, big tits.
You look at the.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Is he the biggest legend in New York?
It's not even close.
Not even close.
It's
Joe
not
Namath.
New
even-
York sports, not bad.
Broadway Joe
Bigger than
with the
bigger
fur
than
coat,
bigger
and
than
his
Babe
dick
Ruth.
out?
Bigger than Babe Ruth.
Well, if you wanna
Well,
go-
no, it's a
I'm talking
ladies'
about
man.
modern.
Oh, ladies, man.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth. God.
Sorry.
I
buddy.
quit. I'm
No,
done.
wait, hold on. Please, man. Please.
It's
wait.
not Jerry.
No.
You guys stop.
No, hold on,
In
please.
fairness, you did
He-
too.
he's
you
going
took
to
it back
pee-pee.
to the 20s and
I took it.
30s.
I had to.
You went back to vaudeville.
Well, Coxman. So Piven took me to Vegas one time, and Jeter was there, and I was standing as we were waiting to get to go into the game. I think it was actually the fights, UFC fights. I can't remember. Anyway, no, it was boxing. We were there to see Cotto fight Pacquiao, and Jeter was in this. We were waiting in the holding area before they brought us to our seats, and he was just standing there with. I think it was with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. I'm always not to drop any names.
No, but that's just like a great. This sounds like the beginning of a joke.
Yeah,
They walk into a bar.
They're all there, and but women are not even noticing Ferrell. Really, they're just walking up to Jeter and just. You don't know me, but my friend knows you from da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Girls with huge rocks on
and
their
he's
fingers.
nice, but still disinterested enough.
A little, yeah, always a little aloof.
Right,
but
just-
but very polite.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And then we went to this club afterwards, and they were sitting at a different table. And Piven and I were sitting at this other table with these people. And I was watching what monkeys we are as human beings. Because we are still apes. Because the women were there was this wrangler. This girl was bringing women by the table. She was bringing girls by the group, sort of showcasing them
like
for
needed
El
like a- it needed
Capitan.
like a host.
Yes, yeah, to
Okay.
Jeter, to El Capitan. They literally, and girls were meeting him hi, and some would shuffle off, and some would come in and drink. And
but-
Brennan's back from draining his rod.
No,
Jared,
man.
maybe you can help me.
No, I
explain this
needed
to me
a
little
break.
bit.
You had to splash your face with water.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah,
was so
he's-
frustrated. Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio fucked with Marilyn Monroe, you fuck. A-Rod has his own sex move called the Dirty A-Rod.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
These guys are putting it down.
Joe Namath, fur coat, dick out.
killed
He had
him, right?
mirrors on his
Joe
ceiling.
Namath was. Joe Namath, don't fuck around. He did it.
Broadway fucking Joe.
Well, there was the story about-
Bill Walton took so much ecstasy and fucked so many girls. It's like he had classic nights,
But you
man.
went back to vaudeville times.
You went to
Listen,
Babe
I
Ruth.
apologize.
Fuck you,
Guys.
Fuck you,
Guys,
man.
I'm sorry, guys.
Out of all the New York athletes, you're from New York.
You gotta go post pill pre AIDS.
To get back
Those guys were just. Will you get a shot
Joe
in your ass of
DiMaggio?
penicillin? You
Oh,
were fine.
Ruth used to clip like an animal.
Yeah, he clipped like a
Mickey Mantle had his own STD.
Yo,
you fuck.
Babe Ruth, I know for a fact, clipped like a fucking animal. I clipped her.
That conversation is being had in the New York bar, right?
Of course it is. Oh, guys.
You know the
guys.
size of dick Jackie Robinson had for the Brooklyn. I mean, God,
Jackie probably
Brooklyn
had a dick.
Dodgers.
Yeah. He was
And
crazy.
he brought up Babe Ruth.
Well, better references
Joe
of all
Namath
I
apparently.
think this is the first time I take a break on the show.
You had to go splash your face.
You know what fucking
Joe Namath said that before and again by his autobiography, before it was an article I read, before he was in the night of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
He was with two girls drinking his ass off.
Talking about Broadway Joe?
Basically got about 2 hours of sleep and
Oh.
went on the field.
You
biggest
know-
upsets ever.
You know who shits on Broadway Joe's sex stories?
Well, it's probably Will
Lawrence Taylor for the New York
I
Giants.
have no doubt.
You don't think you have a gold lightning in your ear and you're balls deep in girls at halftime?
Yeah. What?
What?
By the way, you want to read a great book? Taylor's book you can read in like a 2-hour flight. And
Really?
It's phenomenal. It's like 150 pages, and it's awesome.
Oh,
Sounds
Talking
amazing.
about stories about when he's getting on the team jet and it was dead of winter and snow, but he wanted to go golfing. He shows up to the plane in a tank top barefoot and says, "Oh, I came from the golf course," and would toss the valet his keys and just get on the
Jesus,
plane
man.
and go play the Redskins.
Yeah, he was.
With no clothes.
Artie,
No shoes.
Artie Lang told me a story. He was in rehab with Lawrence Taylor. And Artie said to me, Artie's like moping and complaining. They were in a talk group. And Taylor grabbed him and goes, "Hey, motherfucker, I was the greatest football player on earth. And I threw it all the fuck away." And he said to Artie, he goes, "I was never not high. I never played not high." He never played
Think
a
about
game
the shit he did off the
not
field.
high. He was out of his fucking mind.
And then you got to throw in the old OJ for Buffalo. He did some wild things too.
well,
I'm not talking about murder. I'm just
No,
talking about.
You're talking about.
I'm talking about bitches. I'm talking about those Brentwood bitches.
like stealing your best friend's girl and without even.
those
blinking.
were the San Francisco days, though. I'm talking New York, OJ Simpson, Buffalo.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna sound like a big Yankee homer right now, but that's why you got to put Derek Jeter in a different class, because he kind of did it all in the biggest spotlight in terms of American sports, and never had one of those stories.
Yeah,
Where
and
he
no
fucked
girl
up.
talk,
That's
no
actually
girl
true.
talk shit
Never
about him
fucked
either,
up. No one
because
talks
they knew what they were getting into.
You cannot
huge.
find a negative story on the internet about Derek Jeter other than like, "Oh, we wish he talked a little bit more
Yeah,
in
I know.
interviews. He gives the same generic answers." That's like the worst.
You
thing
know who
can
else does
find
that
on
really
the
well?
guy.
You know who else stays the fuck out of the limelight in every way is Leonardo DiCaprio. And he's at the height of his fame. You know he's got to be putting it down. And he is just able to
Heard some
keep.
stories about that guy.
Yeah, but he's able to keep himself out of the tabloids, man. Even
I-
pictures. Like, he's just really good at
I think it takes a conscious effort on those guys' parts, but
discipline.
it becomes like part. Yeah, like that's
It's
like
their
a,
thing, right?
And who you surround
it's
yourself
almost their
with.
thing, though.
Yeah, I think that's part of the category when you're looking over like your career, your business. It's like, yeah, the movie's doing great and this is doing great, and then yeah, we're low radar still. Like it's something you have to give care to and pay
Yeah.
attention to.
Yeah.
Recluse, like it's
Yeah.
hard to find them. Like it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
secret.
But yeah, I'm saying
and then he
Jeter,
comes
man.
out with this dad bod and tits. You're like, what the fuck? He's on a bike with a dad hat on.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, he's
with
very good at
Rihanna or some 10 model.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yeah, he's very good at it.
Killing the game.
Captain's married. Wow.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
never got it. Why Jeter? What is it about Jeter? Because he was never the greatest player necessarily.
He was
How
he was
dare you.
balletic,
He's not the best looking guy in the world. Like
big
if
eyes,
you look at
big
Ronaldo,
eyes.
You're like, I fucking
No,
get
we've
it.
been
That
over
makes
this, B.
sense.
He's not that good looking.
But he's got. I looked at him. I studied him. He's got.
No,
big
we've
eyes,
talked to
strong
Do the
jaw.
kids still say swagger? Is that
got
word
a swagger.
still used?
He has that championship swag.
Yeah, like
But
he's just.
Somebody said about him. They said no matter what the odds, Mr. Clutch, he would just show up. He just played baseball. Whether all the cards were on the line or whatever, he just played baseball. He was always balletic. He just was so relaxed, chewing gum. He'd throw in the air. He'd ground, throw. He'd be in the air, just throw it to first, like no problem. There you go. And he always looked like he was completely relaxed. And I remember my girlfriend didn't know anything about baseball, nothing, and saw him up at bat. And she looked at him. He was chewing gum. And she looked at him and she said, "Is he like a heartthrob or something?" And I went, "You bitch."
Where'd you get the tickets?
Just out of nowhere.
Where'd you get the tickets?
No, it was on TV.
Were her
It was on TV.
tickets?
It was on TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
gonna
on
say
TV.
Derek Jeter slid in them DMs. That's why you get the tickets.
No, this is before.
She knew
this is
exactly
before.
what
This
she
was
was
actually,
doing.
This is when I was.
This is
33.
gonna be a man crush line, but I think also with Jeter, and I don't know. I just kind of thought of this now. He has charisma without speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiet, cool thing.
Like a lot of people could have charisma, witty,
Yeah.
good talkers. He has charisma without saying shit.
Yeah.
Just by playing baseball.
Charlie Chaplin.
You know,
Taller
so-
than I gave him credit for, because
Yeah.
Will Ferrell's 6'2", and he
No,
was
he's a
just
big boy.
about an inch taller, about 6'3".
Jeets
and
is a big
broad
boy.
Okay,
shoulders.
do you think Derek Jeter's an attractive man?
Yeah, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love the Yankees and I love Derek Jeter.
There you
But
go.
let's say he didn't play baseball. Would he be
Cute.
attractive? Like, is he a
Probably like
dime piece?
no.
No.
It's,
He looks very average.
He's like very mysterious to me
Mm.
because he's not like loud and in the media. He's just like you guys were saying. He's just like chill.
That's what I'm saying. If you met
Yeah.
him in Playa Vista at the park, you're not even like, God damn, that dude is a heartthrob.
I wouldn't say he was hot if I met him at the park and he wasn't famous, but I don't think he's ugly. Like, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well,
Derek Jeter.
like A-Rod's a good looking dude. Tall,
A-Rod looks like he's
mocha
been dipped in
skin,
gold. purple lips.
Do you like A-Rod?
I love A-Rod.
Me too, I love him.
Somebody
A-Rod.
brushed him with butter. They took a turkey baster and brushed him down with melted
gold
butter.
butter.
With golden,
Gold butter.
You know who's
golden gold butter.
You know who's
He's a
gonna
better baseball
have-
player than Jeter.
He's
too.
not going to have a better, I can't say better because he's had an amazing career, A-Rod, but A-Rod, because I watched the World Series and he was working for Fox, calling the World Series. Phenomenal in the studio with a microphone.
Really?
Like, turned heads.
Yeah.
Wow.
Agents all over were like, oh my God, A-Rod's going to sign $100 million
For sure.
post-baseball. Not that he needs it, but post-playing career.
He's a winner.
Phenomenal in the studio. Insightful, comical on himself. Just
Wow.
Good-looking dude.
Just
Like he has the whole
killed it.
package. Yeah.
He is going to be huge in his if he wants to be in his after playing career.
I was
I love
telling
it.
Bryan, I was in Vegas having dinner with Rogan, all these people, and we're at the table, and I see A-Rod. He's my favorite player of all time. And I see A-Rod, I'm like, holy shit, Alex Rodriguez. And he was with 2 dime pieces, by the way, buying him drinks. Classic
well
move.
done.
In suit, nice suit,
Yeah.
2 dimes, buying martinis and shit. Of course. I would have
Naturally.
helped him
And
out.
by the way, he should always have 2 girlfriends. He should be granted 2 women. He should always.
Oh, it's
One woman
their
is an
duty.
insult to that man.
We're at Strip
Have to.
Steakhouse.
How dare you.
A-Rod's here.
How dare you.
But no one bothered him. Not one person, because you get like at our table, everyone like, fuck that guy. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Okay,
And why
PEDs,
fuck
whatever,
that
whatever
guy?
PEDs. The
Why fuck
pitchers
that guy?
throwing to him were on just as much shit as he is. It's actually hard to get through being a pitcher than as a bat playing his position. The guys throwing the ball are on steroids. He's one of the greatest of all
Regardless.
time.
Regardless.
Top 5. Watch your fucking mouth and enjoy your strips.
Do you know who
100%.
history's been kind to? Not many people talk about it anymore. Jose Canseco. Because that book came out,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, really? You're the godfather of steroids, Canseco. Why should we listen to you?
He was right.
Right on about 99.8%.
Did you read that book?
As
Me too.
everybody was doing it.
Just injecting people.
Yeah.
He told the truth.
His saving
Really
grace
did.
is that
Fucking
he was
told the
he was
truth.
told the truth. He was just honest.
He told the truth and knew that by telling the truth, everyone was gonna hate him in the baseball world. But now, cut to years later,
We did forget about him. You know,
Forget about it.
Mike Stud, who we have on the show
Yeah.
on Wednesday, is dating his daughter.
that right?
She's gorgeous. She's a straight mom.
Well,
son.
he
Gorgeous.
might be in many ways, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't. And I'm going to say
You're
it.
saying the ultimate dime piece.
I'm going to say it. And this is, and I know I might get some flack, but I'm going to say it out loud. In many ways, Jose Canseco, at the height of his career,
Spit it out, sir.
is the best looking athlete, period.
Of all time,
I'm going to say it again. Hold on.
Cristiano Ronaldo's going, huh?
You know what?
Huh?
Say
You
what?
know what?
David
You know
Beckham's
what?
going, what the fuck did you just say?
Say it again, because I'm just talking about as a pure comic book Conan looking 6'6", whatever he was, because I've seen him in person. He's the biggest guy in the world.
Nah, he's not 6'8".
6'8", 620 for 6'20".
Him and the Bash Brothers, Mark McGuire and him, back to back, Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Just juiced to
Yeah.
the gills, holding the bats
Elbow
like
to
they're little
elbow
fucking
after every home
little
run.
little popsicles.
With that mane, with that fucking.
You know what? You got an argument, Brian.
Yeah, that dark mane,
Identical twin brother, by the way.
identical
I didn't
twin
know
brother.
Ozzie Canseco.
Yep.
Who played Major League Baseball as well.
Damn, couple
True story.
studs.
I'm useless over here, but I got
No, but I know that
No,
because
man.
they would kind of pick up on girls together and
Ozzie
kind of
Canseco-
play.
Ozzie and
Jose
Jose.
Canseco, man, people forget how big of a deal he was.
Oh yeah. No, please. And I
went to
you
a
know
lot
I
of
don't
those
say it
games.
lightly.
Really?
I went to a lot of those Yankee A's games. I used to go. He was my favorite player. That's my favorite line in Liar Liar. Jim Carrey's like, "I'm Jose Canseco." He's my favorite player. He's my favorite player.
Yeah, when that book came out, everyone was like pissed, like he's
Fuck you,
lying.
Canseco.
Mark McGuire was like, he's full of shit. We're like, well, I don't
You're
know.
right. Yeah, no one was taking steroids. You're right. It didn't
Yeah.
start till just recently.
Well, Lenny Dykstra just came out with a book called House of Nails.
That guy.
And it's a celebration. I was looking at it yesterday just for shits and giggles. I Googled before and after pictures of Lenny Dykstra. Like I Googled Lenny
Before
Dykstra
the car wash, after the car wash?
and what a difference, because he came in fairly fairly thin.
Yeah.
And just ended with, and he's an egotistical.
You want another great book?
Yeah.
Read, oh God, was it When the Bad Guys Won? Story about the '86 Mets.
Oh, wow.
Who
With Darryl
destroyed Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden,
Yep.
Lenny Dykstra.
Bobby Bonilla on that one?
No, that was pre. They basically in the book they win in the NLCS in Houston to go to the World Series. On the flight back to New York, only professional sports franchise to get banned from a commercial airline. They wrecked the plane on the flight
fuck is wrong with
back.
them?
I also think
When
if
the
memory
bad
serves
guys
me-
won.
If the memory serves me correctly, they had their wives and hookers on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
As well, at the same time, ripping out seats.
Oh, yeah.
Doing
Was this the coolest baseball team of all
If you
time?
have more flights coming up, you got to travel. Get When the Bad Guys Won. Read about the '86 Mets. Enjoy.
Well, after this, I'll tell you who
sounds
told me this, but I talked to two very famous football players, very famous, and they said to me that when they were playing, they used to have their wives in one row and their girlfriends
Oh, yeah.
in the other row.
Yeah. They're not telling you like any hidden secrets.
I know, but it was so
Like
great
ESPN
because
did that
the
this
way they
morning.
were breaking it down, I was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And they
No.
were just talking about how they would do it and how one of them would be like, well, that one I don't use a condom with.
Yeah.
She's the special one.
Yeah.
And the other one. And they had the whole, I was howling,
What else you
very
got, Ev?
jealous.
All right, this will be the last current event we do for today. On Sunday, Draymond Green got arrested for assault. Apparently, he was at a restaurant. A fan came up to him and was just taunting the shit out of him. Probably for sure, don't taunt it.
That
6'8",
fan deserves to
whatever
get the
basketball
shit
player.
kicked
Is this in Golden State?
Yeah.
No, this
it
was
in
in.
Sorry, it was
it's
in
where
Michigan.
he's from. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from. That's where he played
East
college.
Lansing.
basketball,
Michigan State,
hometown.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
East Lansing, Michigan. Slapped the shit out of the guy. Guy calls the cops, which is such bullshit.
The guy
and,
sucks.
And now Draymond Green is on the hook for an assault charge.
He made bail. I saw it was like $1,000.
Yeah, the bail was nothing, but
this guy's
but
an
the assault
asshole.
charge could carry some
93 day.
Yeah,
possible
93 days. Yeah.
sentence.
Hopefully,
He'll be fine because especially in his hometown, Michigan State, he was a
Probably gonna
legend.
have to maybe pay the guy and drop
Pay
the
the
charges.
guy off.
It's
Probably.
more, I mean, the story is more about like the gall, like the comfort level that fans have openly talking shit to guys that are gigantic just because they're pro athletes.
Yeah.
They think
I've
there's like
never-
some veil of safety there. Like you can't talk shit
Yeah.
to them.
Like poking a bear in a
They're human. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like these athletes are human.
And
It's
they'll
weird.
kill
man.
you.
At some of our live show, we love fans. You know, one of my exes. Hey man, how was it? Fucking blah blah blah. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
How is this your girl here?
Yeah.
How would you like me if I asked you what's it like her sucking your dick? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with you?
It's obnoxious.
People are just weird, man. I'm glad that fan got slapped though.
So am I.
That's what you.
I love
that's
that
what you
shit.
get.
It's like when Ron Artest opened up on that dude. You can sign
Mouse
us.
and the Pals,
You
the
can
greatest
see the
sports
guy.
in history.
You can see the guy kind of standing there, and he realizes he goes, "Oh, I'm in deep water right now. This is not
Oh,
a
the
normal
line
dude."
got out of the cage. He's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, lion got out of the cage.
There's a dude who I think Jermaine O'Neal punched in the face that for years everyone thought it was me.
Oh yeah, it was a small white guy.
Small
Remember
white
that?
dude,
Small white
hat
dude.
backwards,
Yeah, that's
jersey
right.
on, beard, chubby. Dude, everyone thought for sure Jermaine O'Neal knocked me out.
Do you remember, I remember Mark Gastineau got in a fight, and they had the guy he beat up on the news, and the kid was yeah, the kid was jacked. His face looked like he stuck his head into a hornet's nest.
jacked up.
Cartoon bump.
He was just cartoon bumps, just gang, one eye completely closed. That's the sound effect, just gang. And he was talking about how he tried to fight Mark Gastineau, and he was trying not to cry
These are great.
on the fucking news. It was the greatest thing.
Did you ever see the guys who tried to steal Mike Tyson's chain? Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, and then it wasn't successful.
Out of
And then Mike
your
Tyson
mind.
punched
It
you in the
wasn't
face.
successful. What a surprise.
Those two of them, they tried running and grabbing his chain, and the chain was thick, and whoops. Oh, well, the line sees you now. Body shot, face shot. Kadoosh. Ah!
Do you think it's because
You ever saw this?
No.
I think he broke his ribs.
Probably
someone
shat
broke
his pants
face.
a little bit.
Yeah.
There's definitely some poo in your pants. And you get
Big, thick chain. Whoops. Come on back. It's Mike Tyson, and he's batshit crazy.
Hey, they did.
Kadoosh.
Oh, my God.
Fucked him up.
Wow.
Do you
That's
think
weird.
this fan will like talk trash to Draymond Green just because it's like, oh, you're so big, there's no way you're gonna hit me, right? Is it like that sort of thing?
Yes.
Are they looking to get paid? It's like you're a big
Both.
like. I'm gonna talk shit to you. You're obviously not gonna hit me. Look at the size of me. Look at the size of you,
weird,
right? Like,
right?
is that what they have in their
Probably.
head?
But it's
Probably.
the same people online who think, I can say whatever I want. It won't hurt his feelings.
I get that actually in a way because it's faceless, but like to actually have it to be
That's some
face
balls.
to face with the guy and heckle him.
I think people would do that with
for a slap.
If I got in a fight with you, if I was really mad and I got in a fight, I might throw a punch at you because I feel like you wouldn't. Like you'd. I don't think you'd open up on me and kill me.
Right.
You'd be
I would
like,
slap you so hard. I would slap you so hard.
Which,
you
by
would
the way, I'd
know
rather be
never to
punched.
do that
slap
again.
me, right? Not punch me.
No, just an open hand
Just an
slap.
open hand slap.
So hard.
So much more
It'd
humiliating.
be so hard.
Yeah, you'd really.
Where you'd be like,
slap
oh my
me.
God.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
And I'd be like, that's 10%.
Yeah, he's grabbed me before and squeezed like the other day, and I went, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "That's 30%." I was like, "Oh." I mean, that's how smaller guys are always like, he's a giant. He's not gonna really kill me. I think that's psychologically what goes on.
People do the same shit with actors too. Have you ever had that happen to you?
Have I ever had
Fan
shit talk
your
to me?
face?
Yeah.
All the time, right?
I could, if you gave me 10
In
minutes, I'd go
person?
outside with a pen and write you down some bangers that people
In
hit me with.
person?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes, in person.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Everyone gets it on Twitter, no matter who you are, but in person, yeah.
Did you ever see Ben Affleck after the Batman vs Superman reviews?
No, I heard.
And they're interviewing him. They're like, yeah, it's whoever's
He
interviewing.
flipped out, right?
No, he didn't flip
He
out.
trails
Whoever's
off.
interviewing him, they're like, yeah, it's getting horrible reviews. It might be the worst Batman of all time. And you just see him like
He trails
like
off.
he
They
just
play some
zones
music.
out, and it's like the sad music. He's like, I tried, man. It's like, it's Batman. They're like talking shit to him. Then you see him walking out like Brentwood. People are like, Batman sucks. He's like, I'm not fucking Bruce Wayne, man. Like, it's a role.
That's what they were saying
Yeah,
to him?
what's wrong with people?
He's such a good guy. I like
Great
that
guy.
guy. What the fuck are they doing?
And then you see him out-
hey, the guy's trying his hardest. You know how hard it is to do what he does? You know how hard it is to star in a movie, direct a movie?
You
know how hard
make
it is-
cappuccinos.
Right.
He's in Batman vs Superman.
But you know how hard it is to get to where he's gotten? I've been trying for 25 fucking years. I haven't come close. That's fucking hard. Give the guy some credit for his effort.
You're only as good as your last
He wrote
game.
Good Will Hunting, you fucks.
True, when he was like 20.
I bow down every time. Bow down.
Bow down.
Like
Bow
fucking-
the fuck down, man. To any effort. Effort is about gratitude. Gratitude is about celebrating people's effort.
Yeah,
and
fuck
their
that noise.
accomplishment.
It's Ben Affleck.
Yeah. But it's not a threat to you that somebody's really great and doing well. Use it as inspiration.
That's an ego thing.
I know,
an
but
ego
then
thing.
you're a loser. If
I
you're
know.
you instead of looking at that guy and going, "That's the example I want to be," I'm going to try to be more like that today. You decide to
But you can't
criticize his
attain
best
that. It's
effort.
fucking Batman and Good Will Hunting.
That's
Jerry,
what-
have you
yeah.
ever had like a fan? Oh, I'm sure on social media. I help involved you with social media. I see you on ours,
I'm
which
pretty-
is amazing. You're one of the first ones to kind of interact.
I'm pretty good with it. I'm definitely not like great at it.
Are you-
Sure.
are you-
I'm pretty. I mainly sports stuff, but I'm on it a lot.
Are
yeah.
you good at deflecting, like ignoring the haters?
Yes, but you know what?
You have to
There
be.
have been times where, and I almost don't even want to admit this out loud because you kind of let people know that they've gotten you. I've like just taken it off my phone completely.
The trolls are just sitting there like
Just
this
taking
now.
it off my phone completely. Only because it's like, look, there's so much, and a lot of it was with like the Entourage movie stuff. It's like I'm not even gonna look. It used to bother me a lot back when I kind of first started, whether it was like a bad review or when social media first started coming out. Then I started looking at it, and it became fun, like how mean you could be.
Yeah.
To me, like I was almost like I would retweet that shit and be like, that's actually a good one. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
But now, I just like it's Jalen Rose actually has a good take on it. Like if he sees something he doesn't like, immediate block. He's like, because I
That's
get to
what I do.
control this.
Yeah.
This is mine. I read what I want. I do what I want. So I block.
Yeah,
And I want to keep it positive.
Yeah, I have my brother run most of mine, then Keely runs the Fighting the Kid, and I tell him anything negative,
Block them.
just block them. You delete it, block. It's only positive because
Yep.
you don't want that negative environment. You just don't.
Yeah, and if you go down that wormhole, like you can really come back out feeling pretty shitty about yourself.
It blows
No matter
my
who you
mind.
are.
It blows my mind. People talk shit to you. That's
yeah. Oh,
insane.
yeah.
Because as an athlete, like as a fighter, I can see it. Like you lost, you got knocked out. It's embarrassing. So I guess I can see him get. Oh, you got knocked the fuck out. All right, man. Well, you live in your mom's basement, though. I don't get it. It's
Yeah.
weird, you know.
Yeah.
But to an act, like, how can you talk shit to an act about what? What do you talk shit about?
Hey, man.
Bro, how Turtle? What the fuck, man?
Act better.
It's a fucking
man.
script.
I've had some pretty
It's
good
so
ones over the
weird.
years.
You can remind
You
people.
just have to like hold back from just slapping him in the face.
Look, I always look at that stuff like, A, that's just going to end up costing you money. and doesn't solve the problem. So as much as you have those anger instincts, it's like it really is only going to make the problem significantly worse. And also, that's never really been my style. I always find like ignoring, moving on, that's like the best kind of punishment, revenge. Like, that's it. We're done here. Because like you will find, like, if you want to come up and talk sports or whatever, anything, like, you would get farther if you just were a normal person and nice and positive. Like, we'd actually have a moment and kick
yeah,
the show
man.
for a minute.
Like, I'm down to engage in this.
Sometimes people make jokes thinking like I'm gonna think it's funny or something,
that's the worst.
and it's I don't know. And I've also never, even previous to acting and all that shit, I've never just had the guts to do what some of these people even do, even if it's positive, like the whole like, oh, you're gonna take a picture with me, let's go.
Oh,
like,
it's so weird.
yeah, like first of all, just ask and I'll do it. Like all you gotta do is just ask. I'm obviously gonna do it, but like it's not even like, hey, do you mind? It's like, oh, we gotta take it. Come on,
Like it's like you owe
we
it to
have
him.
to?
You're like a
to him.
prop.
Like
You're
we
like a
have to.
You're
right?
a part of their history. You're a part of happy memories. You're a part of how they bonded with their buddies. So now they got to take a picture.
But
of
he
you.
doesn't owe it
And
to
you're
him.
no. But you're a prop. Like they don't look at you necessarily as a. It's what happens with some
It's
people.
well, it's weird to me now. When I was in Hawaii, obviously Travis Brown lost, blah, blah, blah. He was dating my ex. People came and be like, how happy are you? I'm like, what? Bro, Travis Brown got fucked up. I'm like, okay. Cain Velasquez would do the exact same thing. That does nothing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I want him to win. I have no hate towards him. None of that.
No.
Or when Ronda lost, my Twitter feed, boom, how happy is Schaub right now? I'm like, whoa, you guys don't know me at all.
You reminded me of a moment like that where that's most of when I got shit talked to was when a girl I was dating who I worked with, who was on Entourage, Jamie Lynn Sigler, her and I broke up. But it wasn't like an ugly break. It was like a mutual, hey.
She's
she
from.
was on Soprano.
yeah.
She played Metal Soprano.
Yeah,
She
I'm
was
not
on
mad at her at
Entourage.
all.
And like,
Sure.
we're still cool to this day. Months later, I think she dated like Mark Sanchez for a little while. And
Welcome to
the
the club.
stuff that was said to me
I
was
bet.
just, I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I don't even care. But the fact that these people do and are
It's
are
weird.
sending this shit to me
God
is just
damn.
crazy.
It's so weird to me.
I couldn't believe it.
But people try and relate with the negative.
They're also
and
trying
I'm
to
like,
be heard.
whoa.
They're also trying to touch Hollywood.
is that what-
they're trying to touch
They
Hollywood?
also want
any
you
way
to
they can.
engage
They can
with the
have it.
negative. You
Yeah.
know, like they want, like they'll say the worst thing, so maybe you see it and engage and like, yes, someone saw me. You know, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's
It's their way of
We've
making
even talked
themselves.
about it.
They're trying to feel significant. They're trying to be heard. They're trying to make an impact.
But like Kevin Hart said it best, they're unhappy with their lives, so they reach out and do this nasty troll shit because whatever's going on in their life, it's their way of lashing out.
Yeah.
It's so nasty.
So did you think it's weird to be all over social media like intensely or not do it at all?
I think if you
Like, what's a bigger red flag if you're like all about social media all day long, or if you have nothing?
there has to be a medium. You have to,
Balance.
because if you're not on it, you're losing the race. Especially in entertainment, you're losing the race.
Yeah.
Well, if it's podcasting, good luck, man.
Right.
Podcasting, TV, whatever, because there's social media is the way people interact these days. It's just the way to reach fans.
You don't have to like it, but you got to acknowledge it.
Yeah, man.
And,
Like you at least got to take part in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
If you don't, it's basically like Callen has a Tesla and you're rolling up with a fucking horse still. It's like, well, fuck, man. He's gonna beat you everywhere you want to go. He's gonna beat you there because he knows technology.
Yeah.
All right, Ev. What else?
That's it on currents, man.
Oh, Special K. You picked fan question.
Let me do a quick dropping knowledge.
Oh, drop it, son.
Because I think it's relevant.
If it's about the
because
Counting Crows, I'm gonna kick you in the
it's
face.
definitely not. But
You went to the reason I say that. Yeah, you missed the beginning. He went to Italy with the lead singer from the Counting Crows.
France. Well, he was there. He's a friend
They're
of my
best
buddies.
friends.
Great guy. We had fun. But anyway, but I wanted to just kind of drop some knowledge on, just maybe give some perspective on the country's going through crazy shit with this.
Dallas.
Yeah, with Dallas, with some black people are being killed, cops are being killed, and what's interesting to me is there's some perspective to take. One is that there is something wrong. There's something going on, obviously. Yeah. I think that the good news in this, if there is any good news, is the fact that this has been going on for a long time, but for the first time, we're hearing about it. We're seeing it on camera because people have cameras. And more importantly, we're all talking about it. And I think in a lot of ways in this country, what's very encouraging is it's bringing out the best in people.
Because we turn a blind eye to this stuff because we don't see it. We don't have to confront it.
Yeah, we never did it. But the people live in it, who were a lot of black people who live in it, who had no recourse, we're dealing with that. But what I think is really interesting is that this is, in this country, in many ways, the pain is more uniting than is the other stuff. So there's this preacher in Dallas by the name, I think, of Reggie Brown. And I heard him talking today. And he's a black preacher, and he said, if you bleed, you are my people. If you bleed, you're my people. It's not about black or white. He said, and if you're from South Dallas, which is primarily black, or North Dallas, which is primarily white, you're my people. And then this other guy who said, this white preacher was saying, and he was from North Dallas, and he said, it's hard to love somebody you don't see. It's hard to love people that you don't have any interaction with. Correct. It's hard to love people that you're segregated from, but you have to remember to do so. And it reminded me of where religion, and I'm not a religious person, but it reminded me of why religious leaders and religion has value. Because what religion does in this case, at least Christianity in this case, and again, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a religious person, but what it does is it gives us some pause, and it gives us some perspective, because we're all looking for answers. But what someone like Reggie Brown does, what someone like this other preacher does, they say, hey guys, remember one thing. We are all human beings. We're all of the same moral worth, and we have to keep remembering that. And it does have real impact. And so to sort of piggyback on that, I want to give some people some historical perspective. When you think the world is on fire, take a minute. Because in 1989, when Greg Louganis had AIDS and didn't think he was going to see his 30th birthday, and I remember this very, very well, because I'm old enough to remember this, 15% of the American population believed that AIDS, people who are HIV positive, should get a tattoo. 15% of Americans. In South Africa, they're trying to make it a law right now, but it's a very controversial law. 51% of Americans, according to the polls, when Louganis, I think it was 1989 again, 51% of the population believed that AIDS patients should be quarantined.
I mean, at least wear a necklace.
At least wear a necklace, right? I remember this conversation. I remember when William F. Buckley, who was a very respected conservative columnist, came out and said that. Now, granted, it was called AIDS hysteria. We didn't know as much about the disease. We didn't know about it. So let me recap all of this.
Yeah, bring this back around to the racist stuff.
Let me bring this back to what I'm saying about how we think about what's going on currently, and not let us spin out of control, and keep remembering what's really important, and keep remembering why it's important to keep these things in perspective. It is as follows. It's not so much of us delineate by what someone thinks. So I don't like you because of how you think. I think what's more important as a human being is to isolate not what you think, but how you think as a person. Don't ask yourself how you think, because what you think is how most of us delineate. So in other words, I don't like those people because they are that. Let's just take Muslims. I don't like I don't like those guys because of what they think, because they don't like us. So we should kill them. Now, there's an idea there. I'm being very rudimentary. But you have to remember that how you are thinking sometimes, the mental processes and mechanisms, how you're thinking is exactly how your enemy or somebody you don't like might be thinking. So you're just continuing that cycle.
I had a conversation with an African-American black guy in Hawaii. He was working there, and is when all the Dallas stuff happened. So every morning, the time difference, I'd wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. So I was just balls deep on CNN watching all that stuff. I was talking to him about it, and I said, you know what? I think racism has come a long ways, obviously with the segregation, all that, voting, all that. But I think racism is so prevalent, it's just more PC now. It's still there like a motherfucker. Even in my world, it's there like a motherfucking sports, whatever. It's just more PC now.
But I think it's getting better. And
I don't know.
Well,
I think people still have those beliefs, but they know it's wrong to say it, and it comes out in different ways.
Do you know what I think makes
in groups? Like I just know like certain groups or whatever, they won't drop N-bombs, but they'll navigate around. Like it's way more PC.
I agree with
you. But
they
still feel that way.
Yes, I think human beings are always going to be tribal. But let me give you an example for one of the reasons I think it's getting a little better. When you hear a 4-year-old saying to her mom, "Mommy, don't be sad when that guy got shot. Tell me you didn't kill my boyfriend, sir. Tell me you didn't kill my boyfriend." That video that went viral.
Terrible.
And it went viral.
Did you see that video,
it went viral internationally. It went viral internationally. And people who I know, and you know, the white people, to everybody,
Well, we
was
see them as
outraged.
human then.
Yes, we see them as human, and that breaks down a lot of shit. When you say,
you
when
know
you
what?
go, oh
Even
my
I was
God, that
pissed at the cops.
But what that video does, as hard as it is to watch, is it does bring us closer to those kinds of people. A woman who might be of a different color, a different socioeconomic background.
But not for white people.
We go, I think white people felt the same way.
Oh, I
How could you
think
not-
white people felt bad for it, but when a white person is driving down the street and a cop's behind you, we don't have the same
Exactly.
fear of
Oh,
an African
100%.
American.
Oh, that's right. 100%.
We can't relate to
No,
them.
we can't. But when
But
white,
when you see her boyfriend being shot and the baby
then
in the back,
you go, motherfucker.
You go, that's fucking terrible.
Yes.
But it doesn't change anything.
Well, no, what it also does is it brings us, we have a human experience where you go, that person, that's a horrible thing. They are reacting the way I would react in this situation. And I think it creates compassion and empathy with somebody who you may not know, who might be from North Dallas or South Dallas. But I think it does force us into this conversation. And it does force us to say, number one, something's going wrong. Number two, I'm seeing real suffering. Number three, this is a problem.
Huge problem.
And number four, it's starting to affect me. It's starting to affect my mood. It's starting to affect my heart. It's starting to affect the way I feel. It's starting to affect the way I feel about my country. And I want to make a change. Whether we'll succeed at that or not is not so much the point. The fact is that we're at least talking about it and reaching in that direction where we weren't before. So I think in that sense,
Brings
it's
up the
getting better.
conversation.
Jerry, jump in anytime you want.
First of all, I'm hanging on every word you're saying, and I get what you were saying. Too, like you were balls deep in CNN watching it. It's like it's not that I can't watch, because I do, but it has such an effect on me. You're saying it affects your mood, it affects the way you think of your country. Like I just get so disgusted, but yet I also don't know what to do.
Well, that's the biggest problem. We don't have
someone
answers.
said, here's what you need to do, or here's what we all should, sign me up. Tell me when, where I got to be, what
That's
I need
the
to
problem.
do. And I think that's what a lot of the energy needs to go into, is because we have a lot of smart people in this country who do want to see change.
The smartest.
Try and figure out, I'm not saying it's going to be foolproof once we come up with it, but this just can't.
You're
gotta
so, so right when you say that. Like, what do we do? That's the biggest frustration.
do?
I don't think
most of us
anyone
don't
knows.
know what
That's
to
what
do.
bothers me.
Imagine if you're
Now that-
African American.
No,
As a white person, what do we do? Well, your life's going to continue. As an African American, what do you do?
But seeing that video, like that, you're saying, like, too, like, how do we relate? I don't know what it's like to drive in the car and the cop comes up
For
behind
no
me.
reason.
100%.
'Cause his
I have
tail
no
lights
clue.
out.
But seeing that video, I could relate, because then I imagine my niece.
Yes.
You know, I
For
imagine
sure.
my brother. You start to imagine, well, what if that was me and my family in that fucking car?
But-
And I reach for my wallet all the time.
yeah, and
But you know what? The I don't want to say the light out of this situation, but America was so
silver lining.
silver line. So anti-Muslim. Muslims are the enemy. Hey man, we have a really big fucking problem that's been going on for a long time here.
Yeah.
How about the African Americans, the racism?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Muslims are not the enemy here.
And you know,
we
it's-
have our own issues.
It's more than
man.
racism. It's also a legacy of racism, institutionalized racism, in terms of the fact that you have huge segments of our population that happen to be black that have been starved of those resources. So you're already dealing with the legacy in many ways. Like there are a lot of people that I think, in my opinion, I don't think racism, old-fashioned racism in this country is black people are dumber or black people are bad, or I
think
think
you'd
it's
be
more.
surprised.
I think it's more subtle than that.
See, that's why I
what
think
we're-
it's more PC.
Well, no, I think what we're dealing with is, again, people who feel badly, white people who feel badly, power structure that wants to make a difference but doesn't know how to make a difference, because the damage has been done in so many different ways
For so long
that you're dealing with a mountain to climb. I think it will be fixed. I think you can never take that attitude. I think you have to say all problems can be solved, and they will. Again,
It's just going to take some time.
It
like
goes,
Jerry losing weight.
yeah. Yes, it goes back to that same concept. What sometimes can bring you back together is, don't be so mad if somebody disagrees with you, because now don't hate somebody because they disagree or have a different point of view, because now you're looking at what they think. Think about how they think.
100%. I was talking to some guy on Twitter on this because he disagreed with something, and I wrote back to him. And he put, wow, man, I thought you were going to be mean. I go, I'm never mad at critical thinking.
No.
It's good to disagree with what I say.
Right.
Now, if you hate and you lash out, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Very big.
Critical thinking, bring it on. Let's
Yes.
discuss this. I'm all about it.
Yes.
Educate each
I
other.
respect how
'Cause it
you
helps
think about
me-
something.
Because it helps me,
Yes.
it helps you out, and then we both learn.
Right.
But when it's hate and
Yeah,
you just
that's
ignore
what-
whatever,
yeah.
you're just waiting to get a word out and ignoring what I'm saying, well, then it's not going to work.
That's an attitude versus a thought, isn't it?
For sure.
That's an attitude over a thought, and there's a big difference.
shit bumps, man.
So ask yourself, like, how do I come to my conclusions? Not what do I think, but how do I? And that's the most
Just a
important.
couple
thing.
1, 2, 3 white privileged devils up here.
Here we are, baby.
What can you do?
Here we are. But it's all about.
Let's go with some fan questions with Evan, the white privileged cub.
Yeah, let's hope that one doesn't stick.
You'd be surprised.
I know. Shouldn't have said that. Now it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
All right, first fan question we got. Jerry, what do you miss most about filming the TV show, and have we seen the last of Entourage? I assume by the TV show they mean Power.
Wait, say that again?
What do you miss most about filming the TV show, and have we seen the last of Entourage?
Okay, I'm guessing they said what I missed the most about the Entourage TV show, right? Because you said
Probably,
It's probably
yeah.
the Entourage TV
Yeah.
show. I'm
He's
guessing.
shooting. He's now shooting Power.
Copy.
What I miss most, honestly, is being around the guys, because we did have good chemistry. You gotta remember now, I know them since I'm 23. I'm 36, so
it's a long time, man.
we have a long-standing
Yeah.
relationship.
brothers.
And like I said earlier, all I ever wish I could do is just figure out, make money doing my hobby with people I want to get up and look at every day. And I was always the one who never wanted to leave set. Like 12-hour, 14-hour day, I could have stayed another 2-3 hours. It didn't matter because I was having fun.
Camaraderie.
And I just felt like I was with my family. So
It's like a team, huh?
it was, I guess I was just knowing that at least 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 days a week, I'm going to get to go see those guys and hang out and have a good time doing what we like to do. That's definitely it for me. I miss those
It's
guys.
awesome. It's awesome.
What else you got, Ev?
And yes, Entourage is done. It's done.
Entourage 2.
But also,
Turtle.
Greg Louganis was in the Entourage movie.
Was he?
He was.
Cameo.
Diving?
Marrying Lloyd. He married Lloyd.
Oh,
fuck.
shit.
I didn't see
That's
that.
full circle right there.
That's great.
That's full circle.
Full circle,
circle.
motherfuckers. And that's where I remembered that statistic from that particular documentary. 15%,
What else you got, Ev?
51.
All right, next question. How long do you think it will take for the fighters to actually start seeing more money now that the UFC's been sold?
When there's a
2 years. When like a big dog, when a legit firm, a legit bulldog lawyer and agents get together and decide that fair is fair and there's money in it, you know? But you're looking at a few years. And it also depends who comes in and fills in as president and owners of the UFC. That has the majority to do with it. But there's people out there licking their chops, I guarantee you.
All right, next one. Jerry, I was a huge fan of Turtle on the show. Is there a difference and or similarity between the two of you? Between the character and, obviously, you as a human being?
Definitely a lot of differences. One of the fun parts of that character was kind of like living through him almost, like not having a filter in your brain of saying shit, way more outgoing than I am. He had a lot more fun than I did too. He was way more carefree, so definitely got to live through him. Similarities, I guess, I mean, I was much more like that when I first started, and he was like the loyalist friend. I think that's why people always loved Turtles, because like he was the biggest cheerleader for Vince.
Ride or
like,
die,
he was ride or die. Like he was as loyal as it gets, and I like to think with the people I care about, I am equally as loyal and ride or die for them.
You're both shoe guys, though, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All you
some of the
fucking young
things-
guys in your shoes.
Come on now.
You just
man.
bought Common Projects, you
Yes, I
old
did.
fuck.
Yes, I did. They're comfortable. I was going to Europe. I had to look good with my white
Of course
slacks.
you did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you like shoes, and you Turtle loves shoes.
The shoe thing, yes, but I think also, that was sort of, I'm not gonna say it was taken from me, but like the Yankee affiliation, the sneaker stuff, like Doug Allen definitely took some of our attributes that we
that's
brought
cool.
to the table and put them into the.
He's from Brooklyn, right? Or is he West West?
Queens.
Queens, that's right.
Queens. That's why we're from Queens.
Yeah.
On the show, which.
What else you got, Ev? Let's do two
All
more.
right. So after UFC 200, does beating Mark Hunt give Brock any legitimate claim to a title shot?
Sure. I mean,
And do you think he's going to fight again?
he's such a powerhouse, such a draw. Again, with this new management in place, it depends what they're going to. It depends if Brock goes, all right, I'm going to dedicate 2 years of my life to fighting in the UFC. I'm going to train my ass off. I'm going to be a legit fighter. Test me year round. I'm not going to play grab ass in the WWE. Sorry, Turtle. Or Jerry. I'm not going to play, you know what I'm saying? So So if he dedicates his life to the UFC, hell yeah, he could be UFC champ. But him going back and forth with new management, all that stuff, he fights a guy like Cain, Stipe, or Overeem. We've seen how that works out for him. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But it's, again, he's such a freak athlete. He's one of those guys who can take a year off, come back, and beat really anybody if you wanted. He's such a freak, man. I'm a fan for sure.
All right, last one. Now that the UFC's been bought, what do you think is going to come first, a fighters union or the UFC parting ways with Reebok?
UFC parting ways with Reebok.
That was a bad deal.
Yeah. Someone's going to come in and go, huh? They look ridiculous. Why is the mat yellow? Who's doing this? This is terrible. So that'll be the first thing. Can you explain to me why you love the WWE? Like, because as a kid, I loved it. Like Macho Man, Ultimate Fighter, Ultimate Warrior.
There's two reasons, and it's really simple. It's not going to be. I don't know if this would make like hardcore WWE.
One, it's
crazy.
real.
One, it's totally real. Everything that happens is no.
I like when they go, "Hey, bro, there's a serious steroid testing plan in place. How dare you?"
Yeah.
It really is because of one person, my 8-year-old nephew. It's our biggest bond. He's obsessed with it.
Awesome.
And I hadn't been to a WWE event since I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I took him like a year and a half ago to one, and it was literally like the greatest bonding experience we've had in his 8 years.
That's so cool.
So
That
now
makes sense, though.
I keep up with it, and when I go home, I always take him when they're in town. Him and I FaceTime once or twice a week and discuss Monday Night Raw and what happened. We do a recap.
Is it like the drama? It's almost like a sitcom kind of like drama, like
See, as an adult watching
soap opera?
it, when I get into it, is almost like I start thinking of it on a creative level of like, okay, I try to predict where they're going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, now they got this guy and this
storyline?
guy beefing. I think that's what a lot of the fans do, and that's part of the lore is like you try to play that game of predicting. And I think it happens with almost any show, and that's what it is. It's a TV show. Where could this go? Here's what I think is going to happen. AJ Styles is going to fight John Cena, but then New Day is going to cut. You're just trying to predict the storylines. But it is a weird thing now because when we were kids, you believed it.
Hell
you
yeah, I
bought
did.
it. But now, again, not to turn this into another social media conversation, but the characters, the wrestlers sort of break the third wall.
Yeah.
A lot. So I can only imagine that's very confusing for little kids. Like,
for sure.
And my nephew, he had the chance to meet John Cena, and John Cena was also like the nicest, coolest dude to my nephew.
Yeah,
Like, went up
so
to my
cool.
nephew.
I'm a
and was
fan
like,
of John Cena.
I'll sign your belt as long as you take a picture with me. Said
Yeah.
that to my nephew, and he kind of looked up at me. I was like,
Yeah, do it, man.
go.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
that's really what keeps me going.
Like, I appreciate the hustle. Like their work ethic's insane. They put their
Yeah.
bodies through harm, all that. I can't get into it. And like our buddy Will Sasso is actual writer on there.
Oh, yeah.
He's balls
Will.
deep in the
He loves
WWE.
it.
Like
He
he
knows
loves
the
it.
history.
I would love to write for. I think it's a cool
Sasso
ass-
knows his shit.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is around.
That's what. When I worked with Freddie, that's what I basically picked his brain on.
Like some of my best friends or close friends are all into the WWE like crazy. I'm just like, damn, that's great. I just can't
with
get
the
into
network that they created, like you could go back and pick any match from your childhood and just pull it right up in 2 seconds on your TV.
It's awesome.
So like you literally go Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan.
It's
pull it up,
theater.
I'll
It's
watch
theater. It's good theater.
And the live event, as a live in-person event, you appreciate the athleticism even more. Like you watch it on TV and you say, "Oh, that was a pretty sick move." Live in person, when they're diving over you appreciate the actual athletics of it in person.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to change.
No,
I get it.
No,
I get it.
love hearing it, man.
I get it.
I don't get
It's
it.
that little boy right there that got me back into it. And
Dude,
it's,
that's
it's
such
I
a
got an
legit
8-year-old daughter. I
reason.
know what that's like.
Yeah.
Well, brother, they can watch your show.
July 17th on Stars. Power. Coming
Boom.
back.
And
Power.
your character's name is.
Joe Proctor. I'm playing a criminal defense attorney. I'm in a suit all the time.
And let me
I'm
tell
grown
you-
up.
Your character's name is Joe Proctor?
Joe Proctor.
And let me
That's the
tell you.
current
And let me
UFC
tell the
fighter's
fans.
name.
Oh, that's right.
Well, if he wants to come see
From
me,
Boston, yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to come see
He wants to
me,
come
what's
see
up?
the real John
tell
Proctor.
him
Super weird.
anytime. Name the street court. No, hell no. I'm afraid
There
of
it
him
is.
already.
And then your social media is at,
Jerry Ferrara.
Boom.
At Jerry Ferrara. Simple, easy.
and your podcast they can find Bad for
Bad for
Business on
Business
iTunes.
On iTunes. Yeah, it's bad. It's good. It's bad. It's everything.
I love it, man. I can't thank you
If
enough
you
for
guys don't
coming
watch
on.
Power, it's the single greatest show that's ever been made.
4 billion people.
4 billion
billion people.
4 billion people
Finale,
watched it last
4
year.
billion.
You fuckers.
Boom.
Peace.
You guys.
This is the Final Kid. We're out.